Hi everybody, and welcome to a very special night over here with Behind That Suit interviews. We got the man, the legend, Willie Skandalz up in the building. It's your boy Holden Roy, and joining us,
It's your boy Chris Chrome. What's up, guys?
He's literally in the apartment with me that's why we got masks and everything.
Oh, true. The last time we did this, it was over a computer.
Pre a certain thing that's happened recently.
But yeah, Willie's around, the planets align. So
that's what's up. So we are back with the interviews. What we are going to do is we're going to have a conversation with the man. So you must understand that most of my audience has probably not heard of you because they don't really live in the city and they're all over. So we are going to start this through with asking you to give a little brief introduction, kind of the top level of who you are today and what you are up to before we get into the story of Willie Skandalz.
All right, well, I go by the name of Willie Skandalz. I'm Mohawk from Ganawage Mohawk territory. The legacy of everything that I do has it goes back to 1997, to be honest. Throughout the late 90s, I was doing the battle raps. I was out in the Scribble Jam, if you know what that is about. I was doing the friggin' Blaze battles. I was doing the 106 in Park BT things.
Quick question. How old were you back then when you started doing all of this?
17 years old. So 17, 18, 19, and 20, that was pretty much what my focus and drive was. We were out there battling across North America and hoping to one day get to where obviously Eminem got to through battle rap, being the rap stars in the end. That was the ultimate goal, right? But,
So you're 17 years old. And you have a squad of people with you at this time?
Oh, yeah. At that time, there was 9 artists in the group. We were called FBI Jedis. The fucking badass Indians. That's the abbreviation for FBI, of course.
It.
And we said Jedis, not being like the Star Wars, but like having Jed's eyes. I don't know if you know about the Clampets and the Beverly Hillbillies.
Okay.
Jed missed that shot and he hit oil, right?
Okay.
So the goal was, by having Jed's eyes, we'd hit that oil one day.
Nice.
So we were the fucking badass Indians with Jed's eyes. So that was our twist on things. You know what I mean? So.
And y'all are young?
At the time, I was. At the time, I was the youngest.
Okay, so
I was the kid coming in, and there was a couple of guys who were already established. That was Chief Rock, Kimosabi, and Code Red. They're a little bit older than I am. Well, actually, Code Red's a little bit younger, but he was around these older guys because they're from northern Quebec area. They're Crees and Hurons. So when they met up with each other, they came to Ganawage and they wanted to build a home base, and that's when they found myself, Johnny Jukes, and Juggernaut, and then we formed what is known today as the FBI, which also later grabbed more artists as we continued to build.
So just a quick interjection. Ganawage is right next to Montreal.
Yeah.
So it's technically not in Quebec because it's a reserve.
Well, we consider ourselves a territory, not a reserve. We've never been defeated. We've never been conquered. We're going to hold that title strong. There's never been any treaties. There's never been any paperwork, any wampum beads, anything about Canada owning anything or Quebec.
I had no idea.
Date. So,
did you know that?
Until this happens, we're going to consider ourselves a sovereign nation within the borders of Canada and USA.
I've actually been to Ganawage growing up because I actually grew up in the city next to you.
Oh,
so I've actually grew up in St. Catherine, St. Constance. So I actually used to kind of go over there. I had a girlfriend's aunt or uncle that kind of used to live over there. So I've been there. It's a pretty cool place.
Yeah, it's a lot different mentality-wise. It's just, I don't know if you ever been to the coolest place in the world. It's probably there. A lot of people don't want to live there, but they want to visit there. So it's a great place if you come for a couple of hours. Don't try to stay. You'll be exposed pretty quickly.
Fair enough.
We're very respectful. It's the opposite of what the media tells you. It's the opposite of what the news cameras say. We're very welcoming people. I mean, obviously, that's what got us into the predicament we're in today by being so fucking hospitable. And but it's time to build from that and learn how to float in the river together.
I respect that a lot. And anyway, so you guys are back.
Yep.
You're going around and you're hitting up the battle rap circuit, trying to put together, your Eminem quest to follow in his
that's
footsteps.
that's what the listeners and the viewers are gonna call it, right? Because like that's the only.
I would just say playing the battle circuit.
Just the battle circuit, hoping that was the goal, right? That was the way we're gonna get to where we gotta be.
And then how did that end up playing out for you guys?
Well, eventually it got to the point where we had to produce music. You know, you can't just show up there and be the battle rapper. It's like, hey man, look at my battle rap. Well, do you have? All right, well, okay, now we got. We got 12 songs on an EP. We called it Prelude to Prophecy. We got T-shirts, we had hats, we had jerseys. We started putting the merch table together. So now we're showing up to these battles, and we're becoming crowd favorites because we have a bunch of shit for them to grab. You know, grab a whole. Wow, I can have my favorite battle rapper shirt on. You know, kind of a thing. So it became like we had to figure out a way to jump back into the circuit. If we're not winning, we got to compete still. You know what I mean? Because at the time we weren't getting to the finals. We were just real hungry to be there. You know, because like. When you're coming from a small town, you're Guanajuato, and you're going all the way to Kansas City, Missouri, you know, and nobody there knows who you are, and now you got to go up against their town favorite, you know, it's quite a hill to climb, you know what I mean? So we had to find a way to make our name in each city as we appeared there. So as we arrived in, say, Kansas City, we print up 50,000 of our logo stickers, hit up the city the whole night, all of us spread out in different parts of the city, all around the venue, put our stickers everywhere. So this way, when they get there, when everybody crowd lines up at the battles to enter, they see who the fuck we are. We walk up with our shirts and our jerseys and our hats and everything, and now we look like a sports team that just put sponsorships all over the city or something. You know what I mean? Like put advertisements. I meant to say, sorry.
So is that like, in a way, do you think? Was that to like help you have that advantage when you showed up?
Well, yeah, because then now people are like, what is this? Why is this logo showing up everywhere?
Right.
This is like...
Do you also think that, like, just curiosity, right? If you didn't do that and you just went up and battled, does that also, do you think that could also be...
Skills could have prevailed.
Yeah.
You know, we were as sharp as the competition.
Yeah.
No, but like...
But... When we put that low, like it's the same way Wu-Tang did it, man. It's not that
Seriously,
far off.
It is an amazing guerrilla marketing tactic, straight up.
We made fans without them even knowing who we were.
Like,
and we're not from the city.
Right.
And we'd show up to all different cities
like,
doing the exact same thing.
I'm hearing this, and I'm like, if y'all out there and you guys are rappers or whatnot, listen to what this man is saying, because let me tell you something. That is one of the smartest shits I've ever fucking heard. I'm going to imagine
I still use it today.
Most battle rappers at that time did not come with the merch
Not many
tables.
of them had
They
that.
don't have prepared stuff.
Yeah.
So basically if I understand correctly, Willie is emphasizing the importance of preparation and presentation, because when you show up looking like a boss, with your whole squad together, and you get up on there with the pre-marketing. That's what fucking got me. Like, he even came with stickers today, handed us stickers. Fucking, he's got a stack of cards with his logo on it, right there on the table. But the fact is, if you have that shit go around, like, there's just certain, like, things, like, honestly, information wars. Alex Jones's shit appeared all around Montreal at one point. And you just saw his fucking stickers everywhere. I don't know if you remember that.
Yep.
And now everyone knows who the fuck Alex Jones is. It's it's good guerrilla marketing if Alex Jones is doing it. And I'm so impressed. And you guys did this when you were fucking young.
Yeah, then the beauty part about most beautiful part about it was there was 9 of us in the crew, right? So if 9 people spread out around the venue in all different directions and just put up 100 stickers each, everybody walking to that venue that night
sees all of the stickers.
What the fuck is this? What is this? What is this? What is this? What is this?
Amazing.
And then when they get there, they see us in our jumpsuits that have that same logo all over, and automatically, oh, he's dope. You see that shit?
Yeah.
You know, like, whoa.
It does the equivalent to like the posters.
And then,
that people
we always use like a fucking rank system, I guess you could say. So the youngest in rank, which was me and one of my buddies, Code Red at the time, and Joe Snags, we were the youngest in rank. So we would be forced to go hand out those same stickers to everybody standing in line at the venue, right? Go out there with a fucking megaphone and start talking, yo, you guys ever hear of FBI? Here's a free CD or whatever the fuck, you know? Like,
nice.
So we were guerrilla marketing since we were fucking young. So it's like, that's something that I try to push onto my artists today, and I can't tell them that it will never not work, you know?
Well, it's also incredible is the value of the team. In that too.
Well, that's it.
You hear a lot of times, especially with modern and hip hop narratives, I did it all by myself.
Oh.
All that bullshit.
Don't
But
lie.
so like when I hear that, instantly it's garbage. Nobody
Yeah.
ever did it by themselves
Yeah.
because you have engineers and shit on that
That's
track.
it.
Anyway, but I love the fact that right away your story starts with a squad of people making impressive ass fucking moves. That's
That's
a
it.
cool start.
I mean, you guys are a little bit younger than myself, I suppose. You know,
I'm
at 40, so
Yeah, I'm
I'm
a
up
little
there.
younger. I'm at
So,
32.
when
26.
when we were making these moves, a lot of people would ask, "Where are you guys from?" And we could never say, well, I mean, we could always say where we're from individually, right? Like, I'm from Wandage, I'm from Ganawage, I'm from Waswanipi. You know, like everybody has a different fucking territory, but we all came together and repped out of Ganawage. But we always got labeled as the crew that came from Montreal. You know, and still to this day, that's what happens to me. You know, like one of the legendary voices of Montreal. You know, and I'm like, come on, man, I'm not even from there.
There's a good chance you're gonna end up on my Montreal artist.
No, I'm cool with that. That's what I'm
'cause
saying.
it's
I mean, I
kinda-
understand it. You know, I'm understanding it. It's
But-
hard. It's hard for us to
That's-
totally get recognized as our communities respectively, because nobody knows what a Native person looks like today.
That's
You know what I
fair.
mean? So they expect us to look just exactly like the warrior flag, or you know, but that's not the reality of it. This is like a lot of years of interracial mixing and stuff. So this is what This is what we look like today. So it's like, he can't be from Ganawage. He's got to be from Montreal. You know what I mean? Like that's what I feel happens. I'm not saying that is the reality. I
I
don't know.
also think there's just a side of simplicity, right? I don't think people really can make the connection that Ganawage is different than, say, Saint Laurent.
That's it.
So
Well,
in our
right.
mind, it's just part of the greater Montreal area.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
even like
Oh, but I understand
Laval,
that.
like nobody's a Laval artist. They're also from Montreal, right?
Yeah.
If you're in Laval, I'm sorry if you feel that that's whatever, but
We're gonna do
But
that
I
a
think
lot. We'll
it's-
probably apologize a
I
few
think
times.
it's also
I
something
mean,
that
it's
is,
what it is for Laval.
I think it's also something that's just like, I guess, like Holden said, simplicity. Because I have family in Toronto, right?
Right.
And every time I go there, they're also like, oh, like the Montrealers are here. But this is when I was specifically living on the South Shore.
Okay.
So
yeah, so it's easy. Yeah,
you know, like for
generalize.
us, there's a difference, but it's like everybody just. I guess it's because Montreal is our like popular city.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like if you were to tell me that Mississauga and Toronto are separate, I'll believe you, but to me they're the same thing.
Well, yeah, you're right. But yeah, I guess.
Anyway,
All right. All right. No.
Yeah, it's just
But anyway, as we
perspectives.
went along, you know what I mean. We learned to take that as a tool to go forward. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, now we're going to North Bay, Ontario for a rap battle, or we're going to Calgary, Alberta for a DMC DJ competition, or
Nice.
you know what I mean? I don't know, wherever we're going now, it's like automatically they were like, oh, the FBI Jedi's, those Indians from Montreal. So we were cool with it after a while, you know what I mean? Because now it's like, all right, we are the natives of Montreal, then fuck it. So we start using that as a way to go a little bit farther, and it did help.
and it helped all of us to have you repping Montreal over
Yeah,
here
for
in
sure,
the city.
you know?
So we appreciate putting in that legwork all the way back then, because I'm certain to this day, everyone that's rapping in the city then owes a tribute
Yeah.
or something to
Well,
all the cats from back then.
that's it.
Because, yo, I mean, I know D-Shade was around
Yeah.
back then doing
Yeah.
some shit.
I used to rock
and
with
there's
D-Shade.
a couple of others. I don't actually know them, but I know
Orion.
there's a few from back then. But as I understand it, not many folk in this city have gone so far as to leave the city and do that many things
Yeah.
at such a level. But how long did this go on for that you guys were playing this circuit?
We played from myself, part of FBI was from 97 to 2005.
That is a lot of years.
So I was using that name. I was using I was using the name Grim at the time, and the whole purpose of using that name was, if I'm a battle rapper, I'm gonna go in there tonight and I'm taking all the rappers' souls. So that was the reason why I had that name, you know. And I chose that name, and it came from a graffiti name that I wrote before I'd even rapped. That used to be called Crim 44. Right. So that was like when it was time to rap. I was like, all right. So what's your name? You know. I don't know, Crim? They're like, that sounds real dumb. What does it mean? I'm like, it doesn't mean anything, man. My name's Crim. Well, like, you need something with meaning. I said, all right, well, I like the battle rap. They're like, all right, well, think of something off of that with what you like already. So we came up with Grim
Fair
to
enough.
match what all of that was about. So
Nice.
that name alone, I mean, you could look at the history of Montreal. I've won battle raps out here. I've fucking battle rapped with Crack Lips 1,000,000 times.
Like
He
CL?
became one of my big friends, good friends in the city. Yes, CL.
Yeah, I'm
He's
trying to
probably
get,
watching right now.
well,
Well,
yeah, I'm
when he looks.
trying to get him up in the room too. So if you're watching this, yo, I'm in NDG. I know you're in fucking not that far. So
He's
you
down
can
the
come
block.
down. Is he really? Is he that fucking close?
He's got to be real close. Not that far.
I thought he was a little farther away. Anyway.
Well, to me, in the community in Guanajuato, it's like, he just lives on the street. Man, we'll walk there in 10 minutes.
Fair enough.
He's an NDG. Go walk here, dude. Like, come on.
I respect
anyways,
that
we used to rap a lot with him, with Lowe's, Narcissist, who's Narcy now. You might know Narcy. The Hard Grimers, they were known as back then.
I've seen names.
There's so many of those guys from back then that are still active today. You know Lil Pesci, right?
I know Lil Pesci.
Yeah, you must have heard of Lil Pesci. Anyways, those guys were around. We used to rap inside the fucking the booth at CKUT Off the Hook Radio, and we were known as the Booth Dogs. So like people would call in and battle rap us.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. So like.
Wait, hold up. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot's happened. I guess it was in 8 years at the time, right?
That's right.
So somewhere along the way, CKUT, that's the Ganawagi radio station.
No, that's university here in Montreal.
That's the one at Concordia or McGill.
Concordia, one of them. I don't know.
Anyway, so it's one downtown.
Yeah, it was downtown.
Okay, and DJ Blasters is involved in that one.
Well, no, not yet.
Well, back
he
then.
Came later.
Yeah, but
at the time was Flow, Revolution from Sage of Culture, and my DJ Buddha Blaze.
Fair enough.
Those were the three main hosts, and then they had myself, Crooks Matolo, Lo Pesci, Narcy. There was a few of us. There was Justice from Northern Lights. There was a bunch of them, man, and we all used to go there. And
Justice McFly?
Yeah, that's right.
I worked with that guy at the day job for a minute.
Nice. So like there was a bunch of us inside this booth, you know what I mean? That were labeled the Booth Dogs, and every week, every Wednesday night, you'd call in and you battle one of us. Like, hey, yo, I want to battle this guy. I want to battle, and the callers would call us right out first, or sometimes just straight up start ripping.
That's amazing. So you guys, was this like a new thing that was being pioneered, or like was it just an ongoing thing?
It was new to me, but they've been doing it for years.
Okay.
They were like 10 years in when I joined.
And just keep in mind, everyone, this is like actually on
this
the
is like 2004. That was like probably when
high school.
That's probably like when they stopped airing their. I mean,
It's high school.
The show still exists right now, but it's not the same host.
Right.
It's not the same cast. It's not the same format.
But it's still it's on FM radio though.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. That's cool about that. So like at any time, like when I could have been young in the car as a kid, not necessarily knowing it, listening to Willie spitting shit up on the fucking radio and realities.
Right.
That's super fascinating. So like when it comes down to like shows and all of that stuff, you were doing concerts and all these things along the way too.
Yeah. At that time, most of our drive at that time was like doing native communities that are remote from major events happening and stuff. You know, there's a great market available still to this day.
I believe that.
You know, and so we took advantage of that to help fund our battling trips and our DJing trips and our, you know, we go check out hip hop conferences, and we were at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when they inducted hip hop.
No way.
So like, there's like so many big things that we done from those shows that we did northern.
So you
Quebec,
guys would basically
Ontario.
head up to the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, do a bunch of
throw
shows.
Concerts. Now, what I understand about middle of nowhere is, at least in the rock scene and the French hip hop scene, you can basically do this tour around Little Quebec and pull like a couple thousand profit at shows just because the way the geography works is they don't have anything going on a Saturday. That's it. The one a month. Everyone's there, even if they don't like it.
Yep.
And
you pull them in, and then but the thing is, like, you do those, right? Like say Val d'Or, Quebec.
Right.
You do Val d'Or, and then we would do Waswanipi and Rapid Lake, that are the two communities next to it.
So just like.
So now we do 3 shows in one weekend, and then head back this way for all the, you know, for the south side of the border, like you like to call it, you know, anywhere in New York State and farther, right? We don't have USA or Canada in my mind, you know, the south side of the province. I mean of the country.
Right.
So
you would also
we go south for the battling, we go north for the shows.
Okay. That's really and so you did that along the 8 years. So basically, you were just living off of music at this point.
That's it. There was no
you guys
9
were
to
like
5. This was the 9 to 5.
Straight up, like you did it. Like that's the dream, basically.
Yeah. From morning to night it was, you know,
and
write, record,
How many
rehearse, do a couple of shows, come back and do the same thing for 40 hours a week. We were treating it like a job, and we were getting paid like one.
That's amazing.
We had to set up similar to yours here with the 12 computers there, and I don't know if you guys remember MySpace.
I do
We had
remember
the Friend
MySpace.
Blaster. We had the Friend Blaster going. Our songs were up to 1 million views.
We're gonna have to stop here and talk about MySpace for a second.
my
Because
God.
I think it's such an important part of
it
the
is.
story. Because what we're doing here is kind of piecing together all these different elements that led to your success today, right?
Right.
And so I want to know all about your MySpace experience. Were you like at the jump of
Yeah, we were there right at the beginning.
So you guys were on that shit before MSN Messenger that I'm too young for, but you'd be the right age for. ICQ, I think.
I didn't do the whole messenger thing. It was available, but we skipped that completely for MySpace because it was like the iTunes of its time, I guess. It's more of a hands-on SoundCloud, I guess you can say. You know, like if that makes sense.
No, it is. I'm hoping everybody watches MySpace. But it's like basically Facebook with music plugins.
That's it. Yeah, and here's my top 10 songs, and you know, and then we use this program called Friend Blaster.
Okay.
Where you take your account and you could fucking add thousands of people in minutes.
Yep.
Or you can go thousands of views in minutes, right?
I did all this as a kid.
Yeah, man, and we
MySpace
used
was
to
the
do
thing.
this, man, and we had our songs up to 1 million views, and we had, but we didn't have music videos and stuff. It wasn't important at that time, you know. Like, I mean, it was always important, but like at an independent level, it wasn't.
I would argue it's questionably important today. It's good to have.
It's good to have. It's a nice piece of equipment to have in your arsenal.
Yeah.
But I like to do music videos. It's fun.
I think they're great art pieces. I would question the value of an ROI unless you have a whole thing set up.
That's it.
But so you guys effectively, how many albums did you have that came out during this period? Like how much? What was your the volume of work? Were you doing the mixtape thing? Were you doing studios?
We did both. We did like I mentioned earlier, Prelude to Prophecy was the first one. Sorry, I had to burp as I was looking that way.
No worries.
We had Prelude to Prophecy, then we did a mixtape series called Audio Crack.
Okay.
And we did 5 parts to that. And what those were is like a legit mixtape. Like we actually had our DJs mix all the songs, and we would blend in our songs in the mixes. You know what I mean? Okay. So now you have all the popular artists, the Jay-Z's, the MOPs, everybody like that. And then we blend our songs in the mixes. So so now I don't know if you guys remember Funkmaster Flex.
No, I get
when
what
he
you're
did the 60 minutes of funk.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we did. We made 60-minute mixes, usually a little bit longer, 60, 65 minutes or whatever. But we always get that bonus track at the end. But that's basically what it was. It's like, yo, check us out. DJs were phenomenal, by the way. We placed second in Canada at one time.
That's dope. So
the mixtapes were always fucking crazy. They were always bananas. And then we would throw in our own jams. We'd throw in a diss track, a party track, and just
this would be like
whatever.
Taking the pop songs of the time.
No, we were making our own songs.
On their music?
No. Well, we would take the pop songs,
that's what I'm saying, and then mix
all them together and throw our songs in the mix.
Versus like the 50 Cent style of Jack and Beeson rapping on it.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. That's really clever too. I don't actually know personally a lot of people who've ever fucked with that strategy. I don't know how legal it is.
I don't know. It wasn't legal, and that's the way we were doing it because it leads up to exactly what I was getting to next. So we were doing these, and we were going to all these native communities where they don't get to hear a DJ ever mix. They don't get to see, and the other part we were doing too was like all the cover art. We were hand drawn the cover art, right? With graffiti artists that we had with us, we were hand drawn everything, and we were using popular imagery as symbolism inside of our art. So say if our Audio Crack Volume 3, for instance, was called Dropping Hot Shit, right? So we put a toilet bowl on fire, right? And there was a fucking Pepsi logo hidden in there. So now the people up north are like, oh, look, Pepsi, I can relate to that. They don't know what the hell's on here, but they see Pepsi. Boom. They're taking that and they're running, So it was, and another one we used was the McDonald's on an igloo, you know what I mean? Like we're going way out of hell up north. We called it ice cold grilling. And there was a guy doing barbecue next to his igloo with the McDonald's logo. It says over 1 billion stoned or whatever was in there. So we were just trying to throw little jokes at everything. And we probably would have get sued in today's world because we used all these people's logos and all these,
Yeah, it might have got.
And we're using their music, so we probably would have really got sued. But that's what we were doing was Audio Crack Jacking for Beats, Audio Crack, dropping hot shit, and we always gave a different title to each one, you know.
As long as you never did it, well, you could probably have not gotten
And
sued.
this is the thing, too. They were on tape.
You just couldn't
Not many
have
people had tape.
sold it the way you could sell albums, but you would have gotten away with it the way everyone else did.
Yeah, they were on cassette tape. I mean, if you ever go into if you go walk downtown in Brooklyn or in the city like that, there's so many people that are just like, yo, want to buy this album? This is 50 Cent's mixtape from like 1992. And, like, there's just so many people like that. So that's the mentality we had towards it. We're basically like selling out the trunk. You know what I mean? To markets where this kind of stuff doesn't happen. We're coming from big cities. These people up way the hell up north are already amazed that these people are coming to their community. Like, wow, there's rappers coming here. And now they're gonna leave little pieces. Little rabbit snacks, like I like to call them, because the rabbit always comes back. So we leave all these little pieces, then we'd come back the next time with a full album of our songs, not just 1 or 2 songs in a mix. We'd come back with a full album, all out the trunk, you know?
So that's real important what he just said. Don't come on too strong.
That's it, man, never.
It's like when you're dating and you're trying to acquire a mate, right?
Depends who you're with.
Generally
Yes,
good practices. You know, you want to not come on too strong. You want to lay it down a little, and then come in and snag it later on.
That's it.
And generally, it's an effective strategy, and I like that. That's real smart. Another great lesson: go to where the need is. It's honestly like
That's
y'all
it.
took this, like, you found a hole in the market. It's almost like you took a content marketing course from 2018 and applied that knowledge to the past.
I never did any of that. That's crazy. Like, I can't even take all the credit either. That's the worst thing about. I mean, the best thing about this, I guess you could say, there was a tight bond between the 9 of us, and we all threw ideas together on a table just like this, and we said, you know what? One of us, if not all of us, one of us is gonna get out of here, and we're all coming. You know what I mean? So that was the main goal, is that we need to get the fuck out of here, because like if you go to these communities, like I mentioned earlier, they're not nice places.
Right.
Ganawag is one of the nicest communities you'll ever go to. We live close to the city. We took advantage of the river all these years. The fur trade was all here. We got put in on the land we live on, we got put in a shitty spot. But strategically placed, we took advantage of it. And now we have a great economy and everything. So, but these other communities don't have half as much as we do here in Ganawag. So that's the reason why we're like, all right, we need to help these guys get farther, help them see something that they'll probably never see, you know. So it was a collective that just wanted to get out, you know, and wanted to see other things in the world, you know, than just our communities, you know. It's like you're in a small little what do they call that? You shake it up there in a
Snow globe.
Snow globe. It's like you're in a snow globe every day when you live in these communities. It's like the whole world's looking at you, but you can't go there.
Yeah.
You can't do this. But we're like, fuck that. We're getting the fuck out of here. We're busting that glass, and we're going to see everything.
Yeah.
Can I just interject? This guy taught us all another great point if we think about what he just said. Have a mission statement that's not about you. And why I say that is because we're in an era where so many people is all about, I want to be the best, I want to be the superstar. And I get it. We all kind of want to be the best.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. As I've gotten older, and maybe this does come with age, I appreciate more the dudes or the ladies who are out there, like, grinding for others. Like, when I say Willie on the internet, it's always putting people on. Yeah. It's always helping. So I can tell you that with the man is energy, like, this is legitimately, for at least 2 years, I've seen him actively on Facebook doing shit in the vein of what he's describing. So he's a real one in that regard. But just to hear how much it's, like, motivated by such a bigger purpose, and you see it in his messaging and stuff, and, like, that is important, I believe, to longevity, because you're 40 and you're doing this, right? That's not the same thing as even being in your early 30s or in your 20s. It's all different. How many people at 40 are still doing shit like this?
I'm just gonna have to say that someone that's 26 per se and that's feeling successful right now, in 14 more years, you're going to look back and say, wow, I could have did this way differently and been more successful.
Yeah,
you
man,
know what
that
I mean?
sounds like deja vu.
So,
I haven't heard that many a time.
I'm just saying, it's the reality of it. What I thought I was doing good then, and I was getting little tidbits of cash or whatever you want to, you know, whatever form of income you want to call it. Like, a lot of people do things for more than just money. You know what I mean? There's a barter system that still exists in the industry, and fuck, if I was gonna say it. But anyways, what I thought was doing good then, if I were to apply what I know now then, that would have been crazy. But you can't do that kind of a comparison.
That's the unfortunate
It just, we knew then that all these things that we were doing were gonna affect today.
But I'm comparing you to other 40-year-olds today, and how few of them still chase their dreams.
Well,
and I think that's where your longevity is based on things like your marketing practices of branding and establishing a reputation. But also, as a person, I think having a mission that's bigger than yourself gives you that drive to keep pushing past the age when you're supposed to stop,
But it seems like also just like true ambition. Like true dedication to what you believe in and to what you stand up for. Like that whole, you know, you're doing it for your community. You're doing it to show other people what the other world is like and kind of what you can give back is what I'm feeling. And it's like that just shows the raw ambition that you carry in this. And being 40 and still doing that. Yeah, that's just genuine.
You might not see it the way I see it, but I see a lot of 40-year-olds that couldn't give a shit in my life.
That's true. I mean, I see it every day. I see a couple of my friends, actually, that are the same age as me. There's a younger kid coming up in the community that's trying to be a rapper, right? And he chose the wrong time of the night to send the song to his family members, right? So he got a whole bunch of hate mail publicly on social medias and... You know, like, hey, you need to grow up, kid. You're not a rapper. Your rap dream's done. He's only 26. You know, like, come on, dude. You can't do that to him. He's going to evolve. You know what I mean? Like, he just chose the wrong time to send you some shit.
I only started when I was 25 or 6.
Well, there you go. Like, it's not even about that. I mean, it's like you said, you're like, to achieve success or... I really don't care if I never make $1 million. I really don't care if I ever see it, you know, like, own 12 cars. I don't need any of that shit, you know? So, like, I keep it very basic.
That's fair.
And I know that the reason why I do that is it's because I want to influence other people to be able to understand that the world needs us to be smarter daily. And if it's just me doing it, well then, you know, I gotta try to like fight with like the strength of 80 men. You know what I mean? Every day.
That's what I mean. It's bigger than Willie. That's amazing. All right, so you basically spent 8 years with the FBI Jedi Cries, and you guys banged out
FBI Jedis.
FBI Jedis. Banged out the tours.
Yeah,
you
but then
banged out the battle raps, the radios,
we left off at
MySpace.
We left off at the copywriting with the mixtape, but that's what's going to lead up to my next one. See, because we never took it as copyright infringement or anything like that, because you constantly say we're not a part of your society. You constantly tell us we're not this, we're not that. We don't want to be Canadian. We don't want to be American. We know that. We've lived this way.
Right.
So now, rabbit ears, right? We say if your music gets here, it's no longer yours. It's on our territory now. So that's what we pulled. All right? Okay. So now, if they want to come sue us, come get us on the territory. Because those same laws there don't apply here.
Yeah.
So... come get us. This led to our last album that we released, and that was the exiting point for the group.
This was in 2005?
This is 2004.
Okay.
We get an album. We sit down. We got our 2 producers, all the MCs that are going to be on the album. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do this album. We got this. We got this producer doing this style. We got this producer. You know what? Scrap all of that idea. The main producer steps up and he goes, you guys never gave me a chance to show you anything that I ever did. You always made me just teamwork with people. He's like, I want to do something for you guys. All from me. He's like, everybody just take the back seat on this one. And he comes out with a whole strategic plan. He's got it all written. He's ready. You know, he's got the script set. So what we do is we call the album Rock Out With Your Cock Out. And he samples nothing but heavy metal and rock music that you're not allowed to touch. Like Michael Jackson's Beat It, Metallica's One, all these fucking huge songs. Like Metallica had just sued Napster not much before.
Right.
So he's like, fuck them, tell them to come get us here. So we fucking sampled all these legendary records and wrote this album called Rock Out With Your Cock Out. Did a crazy promotional photo shoot. Everything was huge. Like I said earlier with MySpace, the songs were up to like 1 million views each. Even like track 8 on the album. You know what I mean? Like all of them were just fucking going crazy. And then, you know, people start having kids. People start getting married.
That's what it is usually.
And now I'm 24 years old now, not 17 no more, 24, 25. And I was stuck in a predicament. Everybody else fucked off. They all went back to their home communities. They all went to, succeed in the fucking world, I guess, and forgot the goal of all of us doing this together, So now there was a couple of us left behind, and I totally lost the drive. I didn't see the light no more. I was by myself, and I'm like, I don't have his skills, or her skills, or what the fuck am I supposed to do?
I can appreciate that.
So then that's when I had a child of my own too, and then I took a couple of years raising that child, and I realized that the only thing that truly made me happy, like the child made me fucking happy. Don't get me wrong, child's the best thing in the fucking world. I named them the sky because I look to the sky for fucking good fucking answers,
That's a cool name.
So anyways, I decided that I have to do this music again. I need to fucking get involved in the scene. I don't see Ganawage doing anything. There was no shows. There was no activity. There was nothing happening. Maybe one or two annual shows
So
like
just,
the other communities. It turned out to be like everywhere else. And I was like, this is not right because we live too close to a big city not to have this happening all the time.
So when is this that you're feeling
This is like 2010. So like after like 5 years of doing nothing, I fell off the mat.
Having a kid is...
Yeah.
Apparently it takes a few years before you can go back to normal, from what a lot of new fathers have told me.
Well, I had a child before that one.
Fair
But the
enough.
second one is the one that made me like,
Okay.
oh, it's time to get to this. Like he doesn't have a future if I'm not fucking hard on it. You know what I mean? So like, we didn't talk about the full background, but I fucked up a lot as a young person, and it really put me in the position to have only hip hop today. You know what I mean? So I'm thankful for those mistakes, because now here I can stand up and say I'm a man and I did this through music.
Right.
And my family eats. We have a house and we have everything great. All the amenities are in the house, and it took a lot of years to fucking really, really focus back and get that same light and drive back in my body. But once I did that, I formed a group, Beat Vandals. I put together a unique team, actually. A couple of guys from FBI, a couple of guys from another territory, a couple of people from here in the city, another guy from the farm areas in Quebec. I gathered a couple of good people, and about alongside of my buddy Desu, we did that together, and we fucking blazed the trail through Eastern Ontario in the first month together. We went on tour, and from there it just went to what it is now, man. In the last 10 years, that's crazy to say 10 years already. 2020. the second coming is like already 10 years in. This is
Right.
bananas.
That's, like I said, longevity.
That's
Because
it.
that's not something everybody can just go do. A
Yeah.
lot of these guys aren't necessarily quite as active.
Yeah.
When I say quite as active, I mean you're active in a way where everybody in Montreal seems to know who the fuck you are right now.
Yeah, everybody. It's
Not
been that way.
everybody knows who everybody else is in this. I'm obviously not
Yeah.
everybody.
No, I know what
but,
you mean, though.
Okay, so let's go. Like, a lot has to have happened in the last decade as you've evolved
Oh,
to
man.
this point.
So
So
much.
you come back in 2010, and you're also going through Ontario.
But no, what I wanted to say earlier was that the scene was stale in Ganawagi, right? And I was still using social media. By then it had moved on to Facebook, right? So I was still using it, but I wasn't an artist. I wasn't a promoter yet. I wasn't a booking agent. I was just a person.
Right.
I was doing a 9-to-5 shit, cutting trees or whatever the fuck it was. And I was just living, raising my son, doing the best I could as a dad, being there every single day, putting food on the table, doing what I'm supposed to every minute of the day. But at the same time, when Friday or Saturday came, I was like, just bored, like where's the excitement I used to have for these nights? Where's the, where'd that all go? Where's the adrenaline? Where's the buzz? And I realized that with everybody else gone, I was the only one that could bring that buzz back. So I started doing events with like I said, my buddy Desu. When we started Beat Vandals, we also started a production company called AK-47 Entertainment. And with that, we decided that we're going to start bringing in big cover bands. It started out like that, I had like Led Zeppelin cover bands and Red Hot Chili Pepper cover bands. But then it was always like, all right, well, we're going to pay these guys, and now we're going to pay the sound guy, and we're going to pay the MC. And we're going to, what do you mean the MC? I'm the MC, and it was just formed that way, just It was just, I'm gonna MC because I want to be a part of this shit. I don't want to just be the behind the scenes guy. This is not giving me the same vibe still. I need the stage. I need the spotlights. I need the.
So that you guys come back in and start doing rock cover band concerts, like
that's not when we started, like, because it was a big mixture of things.
I just have to say
AK-47 was a production company.
Okay, so
Beat Vandals was our own thing by the same people.
No, I get that. So basically, your production company fuck with anything, and Beat
Yeah.
Vandals was more your
We're a
musical
hip-hop.
brand. Fair, because it was just, to me, it's open-minded as fuck to be sitting there, and all of a sudden, Red Hot Chili Peppers cover bands is being brought into this conversation. It's when you hear it, it's pretty open-minded, and like again, on that opportunistic mindset that you had earlier.
Yeah. So like we start doing those kind of things, and they were big shows. Like people were coming out, So we made a name with that, and then that's when we decided that AK-47 is going to be our entertainment company. You know what I mean? Because now the main boss gives it over to his son, who's my buddy Desu at the time, and we decided that we're going to use AK-47 as like a record label launching for Beat Vandals. You know what I mean? So now it's like, how there's always like G Unit of whatever I don't know how to follow all this crap no more, man. I don't even pay attention. I focus on me. But yeah. So anyways, 50 Cent of G Unit, I meant to say. All right. So everybody always has that. So we were always like Beat Vandals of AK-47 Entertainment. So we traveled, started doing some shows. Right off the bat, we get a big one here in Montreal at the Teen Fest. I don't know if you guys remember that a couple of years back. That was they had Cash Money there. There was a couple of artists from Cash Money. Gutta. I don't remember their names, man. But it was a big thing. Like all the teenage schools were invited. The hall was filled. There was thousands of kids everywhere. And it was a big deal. Like all the big artists in Montreal at the time were there. Midnight, Silky, Natasha, Marie. There was a few big artists at the time that were there. And we had that opportunity. We blew the roof off the place, apparently. Like, I mean, I felt good about the performance, it was what we rehearsed. And somebody in the crowd was impressed, and they brought us on tour. We toured for 10 shows, I think it was, across southern Quebec and Ontario.
That's amazing.
So then that was the point when there was only the three of us in Beat Vandals doing those shows at the time. Me, myself, White Lies, and Juggernaut, and we had Oric on the keyboard. Oric Terry. And then that's when it became a little bit more serious. People seeing like, holy shit, man. Like, I know I helped with production. I know I helped with, writing vocals for one guy or whatever it was. You know what I mean? And everyone's like, all right, well, now I want in full time. This is crazy. I want to be a part of this. And that's when we became Beat Vandals in the sense that we have 7 MCs, 3 producers at all times, and 2 studio engineers. So it was like as if we almost mimicked what we did 10, 15 years ago and just like started it again in a different name,
It's a good formula, only now you're not the little one, you're the leader one.
Yeah. No, I'm the leader, so now I have to lead all these guys, and we start doing all of that, and man, the road that it led to was a lot of big shows. We opened up for Master Ace in Philadelphia. We opened up for Two Live Crew in Montreal at the Underworld.
Was it wild? We gotta stop at Two Live Crew. Is that wild? Was that like
what
you see on YouTube and shit? Is that what
booties on the stage? Woo! There wasn't 14 of them, but there was booties.
All right.
They weren't in bikinis, but there was booties.
I'll take it.
Yeah, it was cool. They brought a guy on stage. The girl gave him a booty dance, and he had a boner and walked off stage. And I was embarrassed in front of everybody. The guy put the spotlight right on his dick. So yeah, there was a lot of big shows. MOP in Toronto.
That's sick.
There's just so many, man. Like, but that's the path that we chose at that time. We figured that if we're doing these big events, because that's what it was, is they seen us as part of AK-47, and another person in the city did work with our ex-boss, and he's like, hey, wait, I recognize that. So then he grabbed us, and then it was what the hell were they called? I can't remember. Anyways, they were a promotion team, and they grabbed us, and they put us on all these shows. We opened up for the Outlaws. Man, there was just so many at that time. They were just putting us on all these events. Boom, boom,
This
boom,
is
boom.
all like the early 2010s.
This is 2010 to like 2015.
Okay, so this is like
So a good
5
5-year
years.
period. they were putting us on anything that came through the underworld. They were putting us on there. Anything that came through, what the hell's that venue in Ottawa? Man, I can't remember what it was called. But anyways, there was a spot in Ottawa. It was a hip hop spot, and it's not open anymore. But they would always send us there, and that was the 2 spots he had connections with. So anytime a big name came, like Tech 9, we were put on.
Fair enough.
So
When did you do Tech 9? I'm a Tech 9.
in Ottawa. I don't remember what year it was. 2006,
That's
7.
wild. That's wild.
That is pretty. It's pretty.
Actually, no, not 2000. What am I saying? 2016 maybe.
I was like-
14.
That's
Sorry.
wild.
I
That's
went
so
too far back.
close.
That's pretty good. That's not long after I got into tech
Yeah.
for the first time. But okay, since we're talking about touring with famous people, do you have any good stories of this era that you're allowed to share?
That I'm allowed to share.
Well, because there might be stuff you can't share on camera that you
Well,
can
yeah,
share
for
off
sure.
camera.
I called Federal Star Sticky Fingers.
Nice.
So I'm like backstage with Onyx doing an interview for. I used to work for K103 Radio in Kahnawake.
You did interviews.
Yeah, I was doing interviews. I have radio background too.
No, it's just,
amongst all of this.
It's just like we're in the middle of this, where it says 47 minutes in, and we're still finding out new shit that was involved in the middle of what you're doing. That's pretty incredible.
Well, yeah. So during all of that, at the same time, I was also working on a radio station as the morning show host.
Nice.
That's the Kahnawake radio
That's the
station.
Kahnawake radio
That's
station.
103.
103.7 or
They played it.
103.9 or whatever.
Honestly-
They play hip hop at night sometimes.
Here's what's up. When you're at least young, that radio station was cool, in my opinion.
Yeah.
'Cause it was always random.
Yeah.
You never knew what the fuck you were going to get when you put that radio
Well,
station
their
on.
format's tight now.
Well, it was more just the variation between
Yeah,
shows and
good variety
styles
and
of
shit.
it. Everything
Yeah.
ended up being there. But yeah, there. And you could say fuck if I'm not mistaken.
No,
No.
we did that in the city here.
Oh yeah, that was the
CKB.
McGill one.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But so yeah, amongst all of that, yes, I was also doing radio, and they would send me to a lot of really good shows, the radio station, and a lot of them I'd refer myself to through them. You know, like, hey man, look, these guys. Like, I did the morning show, right? So the music is not hip hop; it's morning show music. You know, like.
Yeah.
So when a good show was coming to the city, I'd be like, "Hey, K103, can you pull a string for me and get me to that show and interview these people?" So I would take that as a good way to meet these people. So this is at the same time as we're touring, but all these other big artists are doing events with these artists. I wouldn't say touring.
So when you met these people, did you have like a strategy for what you wanted to get out of it outside of just you wanted to interview them, but then did you walk in with this like plan, like I'm gonna get
No,
a feature?
I don't plan anything.
Just
It's always
walk
been
in.
my way.
Just walk in.
Walk in, talk.
I respect that.
I don't like, because if you think too much about it, like, oh, okay, well, in 1997 you said this in the lyric, and they're not thinking that far ahead, especially at the backstage at a venue.
I suppose what inspired this is I was talking to somebody and they told me how they would get into shows, you know,
Mhm.
another person, and they would like have like a contract, not like a contract, but like almost like a paperwork, like a 1-pager ready to hand off to artists when they would like meet them. On,
Yeah,
on,
a lot of times they don't even look at that. Like, I'll be honest, like, when I do like the big festivals like we had here in Montreal a couple years ago was, I forget what it was, Aboriginal Day or something like that. There was people coming in to interview and they were sending the papers, and we're backstage, man. We're having fun. We're not worrying about reading no papers. Like, come on, man, bring it to me later, or bring it to me before the show, you know, like. So a lot of times, like, yeah, come in, talk, you know, like, let's get this over with, you know, kind of thing. So,
Right.
but if you go in there knowing these artists, in a sense, like, not like, hey man, we went to high school together, knowing them, like, more or less like I followed Onyx my whole life, you know. That's one of my favorite groups of all time. So it was easy for me because I knew everything about their fucking careers. I'm like a statistician when it comes to fucking shit like that, you know. So I was like, all right, man. I remember when when Sticky Fingers got his ass kicked in an MTV Celebrity Deathmatch, blah 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 blah. Just bringing up all kind of stuff, you know, like bringing up movies that Federal Star played in, and I was just using all of that. But the moral of the story is, this is the shittiest part, is that I went to interview Federal Star, and I said, "So Sticky, tell me this," and he looked at me and he's like, "All right, there, John." So he immediately got me back right away. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I know your name's Willie, but right now you're John because you fucked my name up.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, oh man, sorry man, I screwed that up. He's like, yeah, don't talk to me no more, John. He's They go over there and talk to Sticky. I have nothing else left to say to you. You know, like basically didn't recognize him for who he really is. You know, so he's like, fuck you, kind of thing. So that was like, holy fuck yeah. You know, like you really gotta focus when you're talking to celebrities, I guess, right? Because they're people too, and they're offended easily.
Honestly, if you ever do customer service and talk to just people and you fuck up their name, they're just as mad as
Yeah.
I think people just get real weird about names.
Yeah, I guess you're just supposed to remember, right? Like everybody.
Oh.
I mean,
Well, it's more like in moments like that, I'd fuck up like that for
Yeah.
real. Like I met Locksmith at like a show, and he was just taller than me, and I was like literally shaking because I mean he's fucking Locksmith.
he's like 6'4".
And he's like fucking famous, and he's just so talented. You're just like so like caught up in the moment, and you're like, this.
Well,
is
he was
fucking-
in those battles back in the day too.
Yeah.
Just to.
You see,
But
Matt, you know Locksmith?
Yeah, we've came across paths before.
You ever battled them?
I didn't battle him, but he was in the battles.
Fair
He was
enough.
around. There was quite a few of those guys.
I know one of the patrons who will likely be watching this episode is a huge freaking Locksmith fan.
Oh, that's good.
Like,
Well,
put me on to him, and dude's a talented MC.
did you ever watch Locksmith at the MTV battle?
I did not, but I
Check
should
that out. It's probably one of
check
his
it out.
earliest on-camera performances. He's got a battle without cursing in front of teeny boppers on MTV TRL with Carson Daly. You know, like it's like real like poppy, but he fucking tears it right up.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So to be able to not curse and still have those kind of battle lines ready, he did a hell of a job. He didn't win the battle, but he did very good.
Fair enough.
But yeah, fuck him right now. We're not talking about him.
So from 2010 to so from 2010 to 2015, you're basically hanging out with the famous peoples and opening up and living
Yeah.
out. We could say a bit of the rap star dream that many of us in the lower tier hope to aspire to get to someday. So at what point does that evolve into the next thing or change up? Because
Well, that's the thing though. Like while all that's happening, there's still other things that are popping. There's 2011 2013. Sorry, 2013 marks the year that we started Music for Miracles.
tell us
And
about that.
this is in the midst of all of this other shit that's happening, right? So, what it was with Music for Miracles is that myself, in the Beat Vandals, and this other group that we were doing shows with out in Akwesasne, the other Mohawk territory, and the other side of the south side. They're in the state side, if you want to put it in those terms. Anyways, they're maybe about 2 hours away from us, and they're a rap group from there named Red. I played them on my show a couple times. You might have heard of them, but anyways, they're over there on their community, and we're over here in our community, and we're both facing young children with life-threatening diseases very close to us. So one artist in that group is like, fuck, I'm all down, you know, like my little niece is sick, she's gonna die, she's always worried. And on my side, I have my nephew who's sick and then, you know, in dire need of help.
And in context, you guys,
We decided that,
you
you know,
can't. Are you guys able to? You're not able to use the healthcare system, are you? Like I don't actually.
yeah. I mean, that's not the point, right? The point is that these kids need help fast.
No, fair enough.
Right? Yeah. So we have Medicare and all of that, but it's cancer. It's heavy. It's
Right.
It's not just let's go get your fucking root canal fixed. You know, like
Yeah.
it's heavy shit. And these are babies. They're under a year old at the time. You know,
Oh,
like
shit.
so we're like, you know what? Let's find a way that we could do shows forever. If you know what I mean. We found a way that if we start Music for Miracles between Aguasasne and Ganawage, then we can do trips every 3 months, 4 months, you know, back and forth. So we always have a place to perform. So what we came up with while we were thinking of that plan, we get this news about these kids. So we're like, all right, now we got it. Now it all makes sense. Everything, all the chips fell down, you know, like, and everybody's ready to play. Now we understand. We have to do these events annually for every time the community needs an extra help. And at that point, these 2 kids needed it. One kid's name was Madden, and the other kid's name was Madison, if I'm not mistaken. And their names are so close that we're like, all right, let's think of a name. So we're like, Music for Madden, Music for... And we're like, fuck it, Music for Miracles, because we're going to help everybody. We're going to bring miracles to all the communities. So that's what we came up with that name, and that's in 2013. And so now we're 2020, so we're like, fuck. We're almost close to almost close to a decade of doing that.
It's really cool because even with the music of Music for Miracles, it's like you're still that pure, genuine, like that genuine for community is still there.
Yeah.
It's
Like
still
you're-
like, bigger than yourself.
Yeah,
That's
it's still
it.
bigger than
Yeah.
yourself.
I just have to say, of everything you've done, Music for Miracles is the one thing I've genuinely and sincerely heard of that's like completely outside of your more recent efforts. Like that shit is pretty respectable.
Yeah, we've done Music for Miracles here in the city. We've traveled with that, man. We went to Aguasasne, went to Gansadage, we went to...
So it's just kind of like,
We bring the show to
When-
other places wherever there's a need.
so
You
they
know, it's
like,
not just about Native people. It's not just about our communities. It's about every human
So
being
in
that
theory-
needs the help.
let's pretend that we're not needing to wear masks anymore
Right.
and life is back to normal. Somebody would just reach out to you and kind of make the case of what's going on, and then you guys set that up. Or,
Well, yeah, that's it. I mean, we had families straight up message us, you know, like, hey, look, this is happening, man. Like, my daughter has leukemia, or like, you know what I mean? My family's house burnt down, or, you know, these are just, my uncle drowned in the river, or, you know, like, funeral coverage. We try to do anything to help where help is needed, you know, because there's not every family can afford things like that. Like, when your kid has cancer and you're in the hospital for 3 years, you can't go to work. Your parking bill is through the roof.
Yeah.
You know, you're from a small community. You got to go to the city. Gas is going to cost a lot, you know, like, so these are the things we always have to put into consideration. Like, even the food that they're going to be eating while they're in the hospital, you know, like that costs, you know, so these are all things that we put into mind when we do these shows. And, like I said, the main goal eventually in one time in life is to have a Music for Miracles Cross Canada tour. And I'm going to work on that till the day I die.
I think you can pull that off. Like that's
I think it's possible.
That's like, honestly, I mean, you're effectively creating a not-for-profit, or I don't know if you went.
No one takes nothing. It goes 100% to each cause.
Right. And
No one
then,
takes a dime.
That's what I was gonna ask. How does that work? So like, let's say I call you, I have a thing, I tell you what's going on, you then put on a show,
Right. Nobody gets paid.
right?
Nobody takes a dollar. And the only person that gets money is that cause.
Is the one I
The
came
sole
with.
cause.
I
It's
mean,
the only
like-
person that gets
like
money.
just
So it's more like a donation?
That's
kind
right.
of like even anecdotally, right? Right before this situation, I had reached out to Make-A-Wish.
Make-A-Wish,
We had
yeah,
a Make-A-Wish
yeah.
situation. So Behind That Suit was going to throw its first show for Make-A-Wish.
Okay.
The venue was free. The DJ was free.
That's it.
Everybody's free
Yeah.
when you're doing it for other people.
That's
It was a little trick I learned out of nowhere this
Mhm.
year. So on that point, it's really like people pay money, and I'm just going to assume everybody voided a lot of costs to help you guys make this
That's
happen.
it. For sure. And then we also have fundraisers. We have like silent auctions over here with a bunch of items companies donate and shit. And we have like raffles and halves. So
Oh, you guys
eventually it goes through the roof some nights. You know, we could raise between $2,000 to $15,000 in a night. You know,
Wow.
It's like really well done, because I mean, effectively, you just did proper event planning and did
Yeah.
all the things that you're supposed to do to run
Yeah.
an event properly. And again, man, you throw not for profit and you're sincere, it's a lot simpler than if you're trying to make money proper.
I mean,
for
and
yourself.
then I still do the events where I'm paying artists and you know.
Yeah, but I mean, just I get that. To me, that's a very sensible grind to have the more altruistic front that exists, because it's a good use of your talent, time, and everything.
That's it.
On the other side, it's also fucking great branding.
Yeah.
I mean, like I don't believe you did it for great branding, but my
No.
first thought is, damn, that makes our scene look fucking good. Like it's been a big epiphany. Like had the COVID not gone down, I would have been looking into
You
partnering,
would have been performing at it,
possibly.
right?
But I would have been trying to get my own version of just that idea. Like
Yeah.
I'm committed in my mind just to the idea of at least partnering. I don't know how. I
Yeah.
just said I'm going to do it, and then all of a sudden locked in our apartments for months. But it's now like just maybe not exactly that, but that's something like that. It's just that to me it's important for, especially on the older end of shit, to give back like that. So I just had to say I respect you so much
Thank you.
for 7-8 years of doing something so incredible, because it sounds like you guys just almost like on demand, and that's incredible too.
Yeah, well, definitely it's on demand because like just recently one of our members of our band passed away.
Oh,
So
that shit's expensive.
and the family
too.
and the family, we told the family right from the start that we want to do something that's going to honor her legacy as a musician in this community.
Well, my condolences.
So we're doing.
I saw you posting about that recently.
We're doing a fundraiser for that to help, put a nice piece on her tombstone from us as the music Mohawk music movement. So it doesn't stop. You know what I mean? There's always something we're trying to do to let everybody know that we're here and we care.
That's amazing. So you've got the for-profit shows you do also. That's just like, the regular grind. You've got all of this going on. You've got, what else is happening then? So as time's moving on.
As time moves on.
We're at 2013. Because, I for me, I basically Willie started doing these live internet shows.
Yeah.
I sent Willie my song, and he said very nice things about me. I was like, wow, Willie, that's great. I'm going to keep watching your show. And then it just turned out that I've probably met now about 3 rappers that I've added to Facebook through the little network Willie seems to be building up on his show. So I see that the culture focus thing he's doing today.
Yeah.
But we're still at 2013 with Music for Miracles starting, and I'm like, that's so much.
What's that?
Cannabis Cuffing Tour.
Oh yeah, for sure. We'll get to that.
So that's still amazing.
The evolution of Willie continues.
But I think if you look at every great person in history, that's kind of how it is. It's
it should be, right?
evolution. There's always more pieces being added every couple of years.
Yeah, for sure. And there's so many other little pieces, man. During that period, I decided that it was during a Music for Miracles show. I think it was like the 3rd annual. We had an open mic at the end of the night. So we're like, hey, anybody out there that sings, raps, plays the banjo, I don't give a shit, whatever you play, the fiddle, come up here, we're all just gonna jam together kind of thing, Threw the mic out there, and this little kid, 15-year-old kid comes up, and his name's Catchy. Now he's my right-hand man. He comes up there, and he starts spitting a fucking tornado out of his face, like, and everybody just stops, like, what the fuck? Where'd this kid come from? Because he literally came out of the shadows and jumped on stage and just like, I don't know what the fuck that was. To this day, we record it. We had it recorded and we play it. And it's like, what the fuck did you say? He's like, everything. He's like, I had my chances. I had to give you everything. So then we got that kid now, right? So now I'm taking on an apprentice. I'm teaching him the ropes of everything that I'm doing. So eventually, I could go sit down and be the VIP at a fucking show, and he could be the MC, and he could be the booking agent. He could be, he could take care of these things too. So I'm trying to teach him all of those things. Digital Fire over here, that's off camera, joins the scene, looking for a place to DJ. So the bar that I was doing my events at the time was called Turn 4. So in turn, I tell him, all right, don't worry, man, I'll get you a job. I'll get you a residency. Next thing you know, he's the resident DJ there every Friday night. And Saturday at most times, because the other guy don't show up. So in the end, every night is a Willie Skandalz entertainment night, because I'm not even there and there's stuff going on that I helped put together,
That's fair.
So then now these kids are evolving. The other Catchy ends up getting a job at Turn 4 also. He starts practicing his MCing skills in front of the crowd while he's working. Oh, man. And then, like I said, we're doing all these shows. I don't know if you heard about the whole Rich Gang movement that's going through Montreal. There's like 10 artists out here that are like doing this whole chapter, Rich Gang. Anyways, one of my rhyme partners at the time, Johnny Jukes, changes his name to Nation, joins this movement. And I said, I can't do it, but I wish you the best. You know what I mean? Go get that money, become successful, everything that we ever fucking dreamt of as kids with FBI. So he took a layoff, came back to music. So anyways, that's his story to tell when he comes here.
Right.
All right, so now he takes that time off, comes back, gets this golden opportunity to be something more than just, I guess, an independent artist, So he takes that. I say, no, don't worry. I'll be right here. I'm going to hold down this area because when you guys need me, I'll be here. So with that happening, everything evolving with his career and everything with the Rich Gang movement, they end up asking me, so do you have access to the venue still? I'm like, well, it didn't go away. I'm still there. I still, it's my cousin that owns the place, So I said, yeah, sure. So they say, all right, well, we're going to get Curtis Jackson. What's his name? Curtis Young. Sorry, Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent.
Like Curtis Jackson.
No, Curtis Young. That's Dr. Dre's son, who it
Right.
turns out to be. He's an artist from California. He's trying to make his own way in the game and not ride his daddy's fucking back. So it turns out that he's like some big respected artist in California and all that part of the States. And he comes to turn 4 in Ganawage, and then the place sells out. There's people right into the parking lot. The biggest crowd we probably ever seen for any hip hop show in Ganawage. And we rub shoulders again with some more bigger names in the industry. And we meet another touring agent that's impressed by. I was hosting the whole thing, and I booked the half of the artists, and their management booked the other half. So they were impressed by all of that, you know, like, wow, you put this together faster than we did. And I said, well, you just give me the fucking word, you know, like, I got people waiting to rap, you know, like. So anyways, I get it all done, packaged real quick, and they're like, all right, that's crazy, we need to work with you some more. So then we end up getting Prada West in Ganawage. Who the hell else came? I can't remember. There was somebody else, bigger named. Somewhat, anyways, we get these artists and they all come in here and they're just blown away by the way I held down the crowd every single time. Like, wow, man, everybody here is fucking enjoying the shit out of this show and they don't even know who the hell I am. You know, like, I said, well, that's how we're gonna do it here, and that's how you're gonna be able to come back. You know, I'm gonna make sure you come back. You know, like, and that's how I always held down these crowds. So then during that, one of the opening artists on one of those shows, I can't remember if it was Prada West or if it was Curtis Jackson.
Curtis Young?
Curtis Young. Fuck, yeah. I keep saying Curtis Jackson. I don't know any other Curtises that rap, that's why. And it's like, I always get these names mixed up.
Fair enough. It's just, it's weird because, like, most people would never think of Curtis Jackson's real name. But then you hear it.
Yeah, but his album was called Curtis.
Yeah.
So that's how we know. It's like Snoop calling himself Kelvin. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's.
But anyways,
I always forget his name's Calvin.
Yeah, but anyways, so one of the opening artists on one of these shows, I can't remember exactly which one of them, says, "Oh, did you hear about the Indigenous Cannabis Cup coming?" Man, like, what the fuck are you talking about? I love smoking weed. How did I not hear about this? And they're like, "Oh, it's a big event. They're gonna have this thing in Tainanega. It's gonna be all the biggest dispensaries in the world coming down for this big extravaganza with a stage and performing artists." And wow, what the fuck? How come no one told me this? You know, like, I'm catching word of it now. Is it too late? No. You could send in your stuff now. You can send in all your EPKs and shit. And I'm like, all right, cool, man. I don't even got that shit, but I'm gonna figure this out. So I find out who the main person is in this Indigenous Cannabis Cup, and I message him. I say, look, there's probably nobody else that will be able to do this job as good as I'll be able to do it. And I was confident. I went in there like, you motherfuckers are hiring me. I don't give a shit. And I tell them, I says, look, you're never going to find nobody else that has this much heart, this much charisma, this much. I believe in the fucking event. I believe in Indigenous people hosting events like this for the first part, you know. And I was like, so we need to make this happen where I'm your event MC for your whole fucking event, and there's no ifs, ands, or whats about it. And he goes, well, you sold me at Indigenous people need to host this. I'm like, all right, well, let's get it. Where's the paperwork? They sent me the paperwork. I signed it, and now I'm the Indigenous Cannabis Cup event MC. We're going in the third year now in the partnership with them, and we brought Connor in. He DJs alongside with me, so we're kind of like a team now. We
it's just like, were you expecting the weed world with the Indigenous Weed Cup to show up? Like,
I was not. It's,
I mean,
what I'm still hooked on this whole. By the way, you're gonna have no choice but to hire me.
Yeah,
so
that's it, man.
Like, just the pure confidence and the pure bravado that you carry with yourself,
lesson.
And it's not just with your determination in terms of like making that stage, right? It's with everything. And all I've really heard is just, we're doing this. And it didn't matter if it failed or not failed. You were like, okay, well, it didn't work. All right, well, this worked, so let's make this happen, and just kept going. And that's just crazy. That's just crazy.
I mean, you always got to keep your mind moving, man. I have a documentary on YouTube you can find. It's called Willy World. And in there I say...
I'll find that and I'll link it below.
I say in there where, yeah, go to work for 8 hours, but when you get home, don't fucking be whining and crying. There's still 16 more hours in that fucking day.
Yeah. This guy's preaching facts right now, everyone.
So that's one thing I live by, and I mean, sometimes my family ain't too happy with me that I'm fucking so determined like that, and that I turn 24 hours into 40 sometimes. It doesn't make sense how I do it.
I could appreciate that life.
But I try my best every day to make sure that if it's not me, someone around me is succeeding.
That's such an amazing mentality. So you're doing all of this. You've got the job at the cannabis
Indigenous
thing,
Cannabis
Indigenous
Cup, yeah.
Cannabis Cup. This is more recent than if you're on your
Yeah, this is what are we now? 20. So this
2020.
is 16, 2015, 16 and 7. No,
2018.
18, right? 16, 17, and 18. Or no,
18.
18, 19, 20. That's
There we
right.
go.
Sorry, man. My fucking.
It's all right.
Is, anyways, yeah. So now we're getting like close to home now, right?
So yeah, I guess what else is there to add to this incredible repertoire of stuff? I mean, I know what the most like some of the more recent ones are, but I'm just expecting now you're like, and yeah, I don't know, we just we set up a whole store over there, and now we selling cheese. Like if you were to say that,
I never got into like
I
owning
would've-
businesses and shit. I don't know. It's not too crazy about
I
that.
actually did have a question that was interesting. What made you start doing the live streams?
we hadn't got there yet.
We didn't get that far yet.
We're still in 2018.
We're 18 into 19 right now.
Listen, I'm following.
Music videos.
Yeah. And that time, that's for sure. I had
Music videos.
Oh,
We'll get to there. We'll get there.
jumping the gun, this guy.
Oh, because I'm just so intrigued, and I'm really just listening. And sometimes it's like, okay, wait, where are we? And I'm like, no, guys, wait, keep it going.
So we're still in the. Okay, so you have a music video that's attached to your production company.
I was doing quite a few videos early on. I was teamed up with a dude named Dayba. You might have seen him on Facebook or whatnot. He's another Indigenous artist that lives here in the city. I did a couple of tours with him, a couple of shows, and we made quite a bond. At the time, he was going out with a girl in Ganawage, so he was close to home. So it was like easy for me to be like, all right, you know what? Let's go do this video, man. Like you're right here, you know. So I started working with him. I did a video for Friday nights. I did the Willy World documentary. It's like a short doc, like 5-10 minutes maybe. And I did Band Card Baby. These are all songs off of my solo album that came out in 2017. And then he'd kind of disappeared. And I was back to like no video guy. Shit, what the hell am I going to do? So then that's when I found Jamal Jackson, who's also from Montreal here. They call him the Camera God. I linked up with him. We did Skywalker's Daughter. We did Refuse to Lose. What else did we do? Damn, that's it with him. Yeah, that's all with him so far. And then I met up with, like I said, at the same time, Connor over here was evolving as an artist himself, as a, I don't know, just as a crazy person as me. Just want to get shit done every day and no sleep and just fucking go nuts. So he's evolved into a crazy person, following my trails and understanding that like this is the way it's got to be. If you're gonna succeed in this fucking shit, you got to be a fucking crazy person and just like go and never look back until everything's done. You know, and it's never done because there's more to go. So now he's understanding all of this, and he starts picking up the camera and he starts doing all of the video work. So I'm like, all right, this is excellent. One guy got away, now we got another one right in his place, and in my opinion, shows up way better. You know, his quality of work is stronger. And so now we're doing the Indigenous Cannabis Cup. We're doing Welcome to Willy World tour. It wasn't a world tour. It was just Welcome to Willy's World.
Right.
So we're doing that, and during that time, one of our friends through another connection that I met during these tours was Q052, and his movement at the time. He has a whole following. So me and him cross paths, and we meet this lady. We're on tour in the east coast of Canada in like Gaspé or some shit like that, and we meet this lady that says she has a connection in France. So we're like, all right, what kind of a connection? Oh, well, we're going to go there, do some political shows. We have all these ideas of, doing like rally type concerts and shit. So we're like, sounds cool, man. Keep us in mind. You know, maybe we'll jump on that, you know?
Right.
So we finished the tour. I get back to Ganawage. Q gets back to his house in Sherbrooke, and we get the same message at the same time from the same girl saying, we don't want anybody else. We want yous. We want yous to come on a tour in France. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here, man? Like, I'm touring in fucking Gaspé, and that led to France? How the fuck did this happen, you know? So now we're preparing for a tour to France. We go do 7 cities in France.
That's crazy.
Man, it was just bananas. So I invite the Beat Vandals, obviously, because I want to bring the boys that I fucking started music with, you know, and I bring Connor to do video work and DJ, and I didn't bring, Q052 brought himself and his DJ, Mr. Nocturne, and we fucking go tour France, and it was like a backpack mission. Throw everything you own in your backpack and fucking go. It was fantastic, man, like, to say the least. That was my first European tour, like, after doing millions of fucking shows in North America and, you know, opening for every which artist there is possible. None of them ever led to fucking France, you know what I mean? So, you know, sometimes just taking the offer that's probably not the best offer could lead you to stuff like that. And, you know, like, during the time I was in the East Coast tour with Q052, I could have been over here doing work with those Rich Gang guys that I was talking about earlier, doing other events, but I says, nah, man, I'm going to take this tour and I'm going to see what the fuck happened, you know, because I never went on tour as a solo artist. I want to see what that was like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to go, fuck, so I went, and it led to fucking France. You know, so I was like, if I would have stayed here doing the saucy drip, whatever the hell they called it, I don't know if that would have worked, man, because I think saucy dripping's done now, right?
I don't know.
No.
There's still saucy dripping?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know.
Yes.
Is that like a specific?
I don't know.
I mean,
I could kind of infer what it
Gucci
meant.
Mane still, like, Gucci Mane still uses, like, Lost in the Sauce and all that to hype up that.
Right.
And, I mean, drip is just, look at my drip. So until they get a better...
I thought that was bling.
I mean, this is pretty blingy for the high-tech world.
The ice is on point.
Oh, I don't know. But anyways, you know what I mean? So, like, I could have stayed here and did an event called the Saucy Drip or something like that.
Right,
but,
right.
I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to go do this independent tour. We're just going off our own dollar. You know, we're going to make some money at each event, but, you know, most of it's from our merch and shit. But it was also like, I want to get away from here for a little while.
Yep.
I want to just go somewhere that I've never been. I've never been to the East Coast, so that was my first trip out there, like, in that sense of the East Coast. But, and then, like I said, it led to France. We went to France. We did that. We got back. That was October 2019.
Nice.
Okay.
And
That's pretty recent.
not much longer, we're stuck here doing this fucking quarantine shit.
Yeah. So
You
that's
know what I mean? So now I'm talking, in 2019, I did 139 events.
that's
Wild.
insanity.
You know what I mean? And most of them were in my hometown. So, you know, you can imagine how many hotels I slept in. How many floors I stayed on and how many, you know, couches and shit, you know?
Yeah.
That's fair. So you basically grinded it out and then quarantine.
And then quarantine, and then we led up to his question.
Yes. So tell us about kicking it live with Willie.
Well, you see, that's another thing that came from the past and I had to bring back. Originally, Beat Vandals were going to do a radio show on K103. We had the whole, like, we had the whole pitch that they were going to hire us as hosts of our own hip-hop show.
Right.
And it was called Kicking It Live. But it never worked. It never came to. They never seen our vision. They never want to hire us for that. They want to hire us for other jobs in the station, and none of us wanted to do that, right? So we wanted to stick to our guns and be a hip-hop show that they didn't have at the time. So we wanted to fill a market that wasn't there. And they didn't want it, so we're like, you know what, fuck it, scrap that idea, put it on the back burner or whatever the hell was going to go on. So one day I'm picking through my emails, looking for beats, I guess you could say, because I got a lot of producers sending me beats and shit, so I'm looking through there and I see the old logo that we had made for Kicking It Live, and I was like, holy shit, that's cool, you know, save it to my phone so we could look at it. Hey, look at that.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So, you know, I'll save it to my phone so I go, oh, that's a cool, and like I can tell this story one day. This was supposed to be my radio show. And now I'm telling the story, imagine that. So, then quarantine happens and I'm like, what the fuck? I was supposed to have, I had nine shows booked already.
Oh, nice.
I had like Barrie, Sudbury, a couple of places like Serpent Lake, Ontario. I had like crazy places that I've never been to. So I was excited, you know, like coming into 2020, like, yes, 2020 is going to be more money. That was my whole like slang.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I was like, yeah, let's go get it, you know. And I was also working on an Argentina and Spain tour, like,
Woo!
so I was like, fuck, I was aiming at fucking shit this year, you know. So when the quarantine happened and the breakout was serious and people had to like stay home and not touch stuff and like wipe their ass for some reason, that's when I decided that I had to do something about it. So I started off. I did the People's Interview. I don't know if you guys went that far back.
No, I wasn't that far.
But I did the People's Interview because I felt that I had to do an interview after being on the road for that long and finally being home and stuck home. I could finally communicate with everybody. You know, because like when you're scrolling through your phone in the metro and then you got to get off to fucking run upstairs and do a sound check at a venue and then you don't got time to really play it and interact. So
Yeah.
I took the time to interact. You know, I invested in a laptop, then I got a desktop, then I got lights, and I started putting pieces together. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna pull the studio in this place, and we're gonna get it to a certain standard. And that's when I said that. I did the people's interview where I had all the fans send in questions. Want to ask Willie a question? Send in any question. I'll read the question with your name attached to it, and I'll answer it live on camera. That was the whole fucking thing, all right?
Fair enough.
And I did that, and then the very fucking next day, they locked everybody down. So I was doing it just to fucking hang out, like, hey, I want to answer some questions. So now they called it, boom, quarantine. I'm like, holy fuck, what the fuck are we gonna do? Holy shit. I was gonna just basically hype the fucking tour I was about to do, you know what I mean?
Right.
So now they're like, oh, everybody's gotta stay home. You gotta lock down. You can't go nowhere. You can't touch stuff. You can't go to venues. Fuck. So I'm like, shit, what are we gonna do? So I start going live, jokingly, kicking it live with Willie. Ha ha ha. I start going live just with my phone, with a little candlelight and smoke joints. Like, come on, guys, all my friends will hang out, smoke joints, and listen to tunes. So we're talking, and it started evolving. It kept growing. It started growing legs. Like, people are fucking viewing this shit, man. I'm just like fucking hanging out with my friends at first, and now we're going from like 40 views to 500 in a night. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is going on? All right, this. It's got to be something. So I sat down. I says, you know what? I was doing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for an hour, right? And I was just playing songs that I like, and then it evolved. Like I said, I was like, all right, I need more music. I can't just play what I like. I'm gonna run out eventually. You know what I mean? So I was like, all right, I'm gonna call out artists, see if they want to send music. I got pummeled with music. I was like, holy fuck, this is crazy. So then that's when I realized I had to make a format. I was getting albums, I was getting singles, I was getting music videos, and I was like, what the fuck? The little laptop, little tablet that I was working with wasn't good enough. So I was like, this thing's gotta go. Toss that, and I got a better computer. That one fucking was not good enough. Toss that one, and I got a better one. And now we're almost to par with the world now, And I'm not that technical at all. Like, I'm the kind of guy to like spit in the microphone, we'll sit over there, drink beer while they mix and master. I don't want to fucking see it. So my whole life I avoided being on those computers and being around all of that. But now it's like, dude, you have no fucking choice.
That's facts.
If you want to succeed with what you're doing, you need to be on there. You need to, it's not just your phone. You need to use a real, actual fucking computer, because everything's so much more vast than this bullshit.
So if I
We're
could
actually
ask,
moving into the world where we're gonna move past computers into tablet-driven shit. It's gonna take 4 or 5 years, but that's the trend, is tablets and 5G.
if I can ask, what for you was that transitioning adaptive period from like how you used to kind of handle things to now being in the digital world?
That's not him. No, I'm just serious. Like, he's digital file for a reason.
Right.
If there's something I truly can't get,
Right.
I call him in to help. But like I said, I told you earlier offline, I'm very private in my life. Like, I don't put my real names online. I don't put it. I make a snake fucking. Actually, that's the wrong word. But I put like mad traps out there because I don't want the government to know who the fuck I am. I'm honest like that, and that's. I mean, they know who I am. Obviously, I have a status card that has a fucking number on it that tells me this is who I am as a fucking native person in fucking this country. But I don't have a physical fucking card. I chose not to ever get one. Medicare card, we don't got none of that shit. I don't fuck with anything. So to adapt to this, you kind of need an ID, like face recognition and all that crap. But I try hard, man. I'm like a bush baby, man, and that lives in the modern world, like an urbanized bush baby, if that makes sense. Like I'm trying to adapt to it because obviously I have a crazy influence on this fucking shit, and people like that shit. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally want to get away from technology. I'd rather get back to fucking us all fucking hunting and farming, but we fucked that up already. So
I do believe that technology is going to be our best tool forward as artists and such.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I mean. For us as artists, I had to learn this shit. You know what I mean? Because like,
you know what?
It wasn't working without.
So there have been quite a few people I've talked to in the last few years. Like I can't say I'm very influential, but I've been around the scene since 2012, and so many people refuse to do the technology adaptation. So I have to again give you credit on being willing to learn it. Because I still know people in 2020 that like are flat out like, I don't need Instagram and shit. I don't need any of this shit. I don't need it. And I'm like,
well, just as per like
fair, maybe you don't, but it will help your fucking life.
Well, see, if myself here, I only have Facebook.
I saw that.
I don't.
Instagram.
I try not to do all of those other things because, like, I don't know, man. Like, you'd have to live where I live to understand that kind of shit.
I can appreciate.
It's just a tough thing because, like, it can get so out of hand in a small community. You know what I mean? And people just throw people under tracks so quick. You know what I mean? So I try to avoid what's popular, you know?
You can see it even happening because you know how like Montreal hip hop English Facebook is a thing. And there's like all the same names that appear on everybody's statuses, and oh boy, sometimes the drama that appears just from people who don't even really know each other and shit. So I gotta imagine.
I've gotten a few of those with a couple of artists out here, but it's just because they don't see the world the way I do. You know what I mean? They're individually driven. That's it. You know, and, I'm not down with that.
So
there's no way you're the star of my show when I'm at the show.
It's funny you say that because it also that's what I was kind of picking up on a little bit. Like, you're not into Instagram, you're not into some of these applications, but it makes, like, to me, the way I kind of see you, it makes sense because you're like, you mentioned it earlier, I don't care if I make $1 million or not. I don't care if this is like I'm doing it for certain bigger purposes, right? So when I kind of look at how you run your Facebook platform and I kind of look at like, and I've just been hearing you speak about what you've been going through, it's like, wow, he's really dedicated to just the bigger picture of all of this music and really not for like the self gain.
Well, I mean, at some point you wanna be able to pat your own back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's what albums are for. That's what, you know, opening for fucking your favorite rappers are for. You know, like that's your path. It's like, yeah. But when it's time to really put the music out there with a message, that's not for me. That's for you guys.
Yeah.
You know, that's not at all for me.
Yeah.
I'm doing this so everybody else can understand that the world needs to change one fucking step at a time.
Yeah.
We can't rush it. And you can't change it now.
Yeah.
But 1 foot forward each fucking day, well, hey, that could change a lot.
Definitely.
All I know is I have spent the last couple of months of Fridays peeking in on Kicking It Live with Willie. Because, like, the thing is that shit comes in. Last week he had this indigenous dude come through and do some fucking native music. I don't know how else to put it. It was
traditional.
Fire. It was fucking fire. But, like, it's just in general, like, I kind of responded to his artist send your music thing, and I'm like, yo, Chris, send your music in. And so we did that. That's how I ended up watching the show for the first time. And he played it. Because you know how many times you send it into shit, and then it's, pay me.
Hey, I'm the same way, man. I know. I've sent my songs to a bazillion people, and you only get 20 that actually listen to it.
And I just thought that was really, because in the same night I had sent it to somebody else who is doing quite well on the online game right now.
Okay.
Completely after you look at it, it's like the monetization angle appears right after, and that's something I really respected about what your show is personally. Like, here's the thing, I sincerely watch this shit on Friday nights. I'm not just like touting your horn. If you guys ask Bonnie or whatever, like, it's there. You can check the videos. I'm in the comments. Why? Because it's fucking like, it's such an interesting gateway to a lot of local shit that you like the CB Mac dude that is just fucking fire. Crazy Ace, like I know who OTR is, but I never would have listened to Crazy Ace if I hadn't.
And it was good in the beginning when I first started doing the first few episodes. Crazy Ace was doing a daily freestyle, so he was on like day 20 something while I was on like week 4. You know what I mean? So I was playing them every other week, and it was like it was helping him a lot, a ton. All kinds of people that, like you said I wouldn't listen to him normally, and he's messaging me saying, man, thanks for that, man. You got a whole bunch of people looking at me from your side of the island.
Nah, for real, like, just, I think this is the 8th interview we've done now, or 7th, with, like, people close enough to Montreal, call it that. And it's the first time we got likes on our Facebook page. Like, I'd say, not that our Facebook page is popping by any means, but it got like about 15 likes in the last 2 days because Willie posted about us. And I just wanted to say thank you for that, just because That's some real shit. I've had other people where we put the interview out and they didn't even share it or whatever after.
Yeah,
It's
those are the people I try to avoid.
for me, it's whatever. I enjoy the fact we get a piece of content and whatever. But I just really like the spirit of what this guy. If you're gonna go like actually support somebody, especially if you're local, Willie is one of those dudes where I can't say I've been to one of your events, but I would go to your event just check it out, just to feel the energy of it, because that sounds fresh.
I'm allowed to do events for 50 people outdoors.
There we go.
It's a start, and then you put up the camera and you start doing the live stream and you bring it to the world.
That's it.
Didn't you recently have a thing? Or am I?
Yeah, I did a wedding recently. My first wedding ever. Myself and Digital Fire. Our first time doing that. It was a 420 themed event too.
Yes.
At a wedding, so it was pretty fucking dope.
That's you guys that did that. I know I saw pictures about that shit.
Yeah.
I was like, is somebody doing weed themed weddings?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It doesn't stop. I told you.
That's a hustle.
Yeah, and then
bookings for 2021.
So we're good.
So if you guys want to get married in 2021 and you want to,
You want weed instead of alcohol?
Listen, that sounds like a better night in my world. That's all I'm trying to say.
We had a great time too.
Do you have anything else that you have planned that's exciting?
Right now, actually, there's one thing that I'm working on with my record label at BME. We're working on Northern bar fights. It's going to be MC battles, 16 bar freestyles if you want, or written. There's going to be a registry coming out earlier next week. Well, by the time they watch this, that week maybe. But I don't know how that's going to work. How fast you are.
This shit is going to be out by like tomorrow latest.
But anyways, by the time the viewers see it, the registry might be out there, is what I should have said.
It's a coming.
Northern Bar Fights is what it's going to be called. There's going to be beats there that you're going to download. They're going to be emailed to you. You're going to download them. Use the beat. Do your best 16. Call out somebody if you want. You're going to be judged by artists in BME and the record label heads. And the fans. The fans are going to be the last vote. We're going to put out polls where you guys are going to get your fans to go hit it, even if your verse was shittier than the other guys. Your fans are going to make you win. That's the way it's going to go.
That is the way it's going to go.
You know how it goes. So anyways, that's what we're going to do. We're going to try this new thing because...
Is this going to be on a website?
It's going to be on Facebook and then YouTube.
That's smart.
Wild. Yep. We're going to do Facebook to YouTube after, like, Facebook to attract them, YouTube to post.
So it'll basically be like everybody grabs the same beat, y'all drop a 14 both upload to your YouTube?
There's going to be two different beats.
Okay.
There's going to be a hip-hop beat and a trap beat. Or our modern beat, I guess you can call it.
Wild.
So you get to choose between the two beats, which one you want to use. You write your best 16 or a diss, post it.
So you post it to your own channel?
No, you post it and then we take it. We get your video and we put it on our YouTube. That's going to be all arranged for that.
Okay.
So we're going to have a voting system. The polls are going to be out there. Chrome wins by 1. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because you had one more fan that day.
This is the
game
of the internet.
It's just something for us to have fun with. You know what I mean? We have a lot of producers and a lot of extra beats in BME, so we want to have fun using these beats that, like, a lot of the artists in our group, I guess you could say, in our circle, that most of the times, like, they'll send me 15 beats and I'm like, all right, I only like 2. You know what I mean? Personally, I only like 2. You know what I mean? But I'm not to say who doesn't like the other fucking 13.
Right.
So I'll keep the 2 I like, and then he'll have these other beats. So then he says more beats to the next guy that matches his style. If he picks 3 or 4, the other ones are still in the pile, you know? So we have a lot of extra beats like that. So that's kind of what we want to do, is want to utilize the extra beats and scout more talent for the record label in the process.
That's
you know what I mean? So, and I mean, it could boost someone's career. Who the fuck knows, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
I like it. You guys should have a cup, like get a trophy.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know if it's going to be a tournament style. I mean, that's more of a tournament with a cup, a single award.
So you know what you need?
There's more than one award, because you beat him, he beats that guy.
One of those wrestling WWE belts, and then you have a champion.
There you go.
And anytime the champion can
I think what would be even better is if you take your shirt off and spray paint it right on you. You are the champ.
That's cool. So I mean, that's like a lot of hustles.
It's just something to do, man. Like, I'm honest. Like I said earlier, man, I don't sleep. They call me a crazy person. So
I definitely can appreciate how
I need to be on something at all times. Otherwise, I lose my mind.
But that's like it's just smart. Like to me, I mean, you might not agree, but I like the fact that you take your week. So you know what? We talked about you utilize your time. I mean, I know you say you don't sleep. I assume you literally sleep a little bit here and there.
Yeah, maybe sometimes.
So let's pretend
They might have caught me on camera once or twice.
I may have took a nap.
I slept 3 times in my life. Jeez. Once was last night.
So I assume then, because normally I would follow this up because I try to ask everybody what their morning routine is like because I'm so fascinated. Like I, in my 30s, decided to wake up before 7 in the morning and make that my lifestyle.
Well,
choice.
I got the regular job like everybody else. 6 o'clock start.
You start work at 6 or you wake up at 6?
Smoke right away. Go take the shower. You know, the regular routine fucking... But it's after 4 o'clock where the action begins, you know? I mean, throughout the day, I'm obviously on the device fucking networking and shit, but, like, the action only begins at 4, really, because, like, the job has my mind occupied, you know?
So you just have, like, at this point, a standard job?
Yeah. I can't say which one on camera, though, because it's limited to my community only.
It's fair enough, So you have your job, and then you basically have a second job, which is your music empire.
Yeah, well, I call the day job the plan C. Funds plan B and plan A.
But I like that because I think a lot of people have this ego issue where they don't want to work. I was in the day job thing.
Yeah.
However you want to make your money, you kind of need a source of revenue.
Well, you know what I figured out? I figured out instead of calling it a day job or like, I gotta go to work, you know, like that feeling. I just say, why don't we go get productive and talk?
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? I work this close to 2 other guys, you know, all day long.
Yeah.
That's all right, so let's just hang out and be productive. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I just don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's like that whip feeling. I don't like that shit, you know?
It's
like,
the mindset that you're changing. You're trying to keep yourself in a positive way of just like, yo, we're chilling, we're hanging out, we're getting paid, we're doing our thing.
Fuck.
Yeah.
And we're getting paid for it, so whatever.
Yeah, I feel that.
That's the way I like to see it. You know what I mean? Like it's like I said, it's always ways. Like he said, it's always ways of keeping the positivity, the mind at ease. I don't know. It's call me a funky Buddha.
I respect it because I feel like there's a lot of people who are addicted to this struggling artist mentality, but this unnecessary level of struggling that's highly avoidable by like I don't know a job or productive periods of times, however you want to frame it.
Yeah.
And I just respect that like in the middle of that, your ethic is in place. Like you have a clear sense of priorities in your life. Like this is what I got to do. And then I switch into this hat. And then I switch into that hat. Yeah. And when you look at time management in a corporate sense, if you were to go pay somebody thousands of dollars to go to a seminar, they would just teach you what Willie's teaching you on this podcast, no lies.
In an hour.
This is just straight up what it is.
I don't know. Fuck, it's just... I don't know, living off experience, I guess. I don't know, man.
I think it's so interesting.
I don't think there's any other way.
And I think the fact that you learned from the lessons and you kept looking for new things is so key. Like they say you have to reinvent yourself on YouTube if you're not, like, shit's working. So as an example, all we did was album reviews for the longest time. It was fun. It's not going to ever grow because nobody fucking really wants to watch 90-minute album reviews.
Well, okay. I mean...
But the interviews...
When you put Organized Confusion, I'll watch.
Yeah, but the problem is that you'll have like 5 albums that you'll watch, and all of you have like 5 albums where you'll do that for, and I'll never be able to really. My format is not gonna really go ahead. But this interview thing, basically the same shit. Us at the table talking, pivoted, and I guarantee you this video will do better than say the last 10 album reviews.
Maybe, who knows?
I mean, at least in terms of
hopefully
people
it boosts
watching.
The other ones if that's the case.
It's a different thing. I hope it gets the other interviews more clicks other people take
what
interest. And then, like, for me, like, it's a pivot, right? So now we're going to do interviews. Why? Because we can learn the city. You guys can see what's going on in Montreal. Everybody can learn. Well, for me, it's a learning experience.
Learning's great.
I get to sit here and talk to people who, in a sense, are my peers and hear about how they win.
Yeah. And also each interview you get better.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's just fun, for me at least. Yeah. But it's just the idea of pivoting and moving into new stuff. Like, you have to recognize sometimes when you got to change and got to go on in a different direction. I don't know. I feel like we're at that point where it's starting to feel like we should wrap it up a little bit.
I'm cool with that, man.
2020. We are at an hour and 40, so you are very close to the record length. It's like
well,
gonna
then
be.
wait.
Well, it's gonna be 5 more minutes, 6 more minutes, or something. I can't say. If we go another 10 minutes, we will beat the record of the official longest on this one. Chris, ask some questions here.
So
I'm running out of steam.
I actually have like a few
Right.
questions. For just first off, what for you yourself growing up? What was it that got you into music?
That's a great
Like
question.
just you yourself, like.
Necessity. I
Okay.
had to do it.
Okay.
I was a high-profile athlete at one point in my life.
Okay.
I
what
took
kind of athletics?
I played football, hockey, and baseball, all at a pretty high pedigree. And I took a knee-to-knee hit and tore all the ligaments in my leg.
Oh shit.
And I was never able to run or skate properly again the way I wanted to and the way I was pursuing at that point, you know. I had a lot of colleges in Canada asking me to go play hockey and sports for their schools, and it was unfortunate that had to happen. Opportunity fucking was gone. There was no more knocks at the door. There was no more phone calls. I was stuck on a couch with my leg in the air for 6 months.
Shit.
Had to rehabilitate my leg back to the point where I can walk and jog and talk and be normal again. So this quarantine ain't shit. I've already done it.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it was like I said, I was 17 years old with a lot of dreams and hopes for the future. And there was always one thing I was good at, was talking and writing. So what makes more sense to become an MC?
I mean,
I
right.
talk and write.
Right.
So, who outside of Onyx, who would be your favorite like MCs? That's another question.
Oh man, that's
the more like standard vein of interview
standard.
questions.
Well, it stems. I mean, I was a young kid at a really great time in hip hop, from the mid '80s to the early '90s. It was probably the strongest point of hip hop ever. Was as far as lyricism and content wise, like full on production was probably the best during those times.
I'll give you that.
So it started for me with LL Cool J, Master Ace, Cool G Rap, Big Daddy Kane.
Okay.
You know, KRS-One, the obvious, you know, the stars of that era. Later on, obviously, like, you know, the 90s movement came in, and you had all the groups. You had the Tribe Called Quest, you had Boot Camp, Wu-Tang, you know. So that was obviously during the time when I started rapping, and that's why I always felt the group made sense.
Okay.
Because, like, it seemed like they were unfuckwittable at all times, and
I'd argue the group makes way more sense now than anyone's giving it credit to.
Yeah.
And I think some of the dumbest shit I ever did in the first 5 or so years of my musicking was to not get involved with anybody and just try to be solo.
Well, I think the idea of it is because when you're in a group, right, there's many things that you can feed off of and showcase, right? So, like, something as simple as, like, I have, like, a group of my friends that we rap and stuff, right? Now, some of us are, like, the fast rappers, some of us are more the technical and the slower ones, but when you put us all together, we have a certain mesh that,
like a
like,
barrel of monkeys.
exactly, and it's that it's that fun, positive, energetic vibe that brings in all of that. But I wanted to, like, over the course of with the lives that you've been doing, because I've been noticing there's a certain type of flair that you have with the videos that really attracts. Is that something that you've been building, or something natural that comes to you? Just that type of attraction that you have.
I just like to talk.
Okay. Fair enough.
I just feel that the world lacks entertainment in a normal fucking sense. Like, not that I'm trying to sit down and be comedic or anything. It's just to be able to do it natural. To be able to talk and just keep it going, you know?
Right, but you're not saying anything stupid. You know what I mean? Like, you're actually very wise, and you're saying a lot of great stuff. So to say just to hide it under just talking, right? Like, is this more you're just like to talk and you just want to communicate with people, or is this more like I'm talking but I'm actually telling you shit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
you know what it is right now is a lot of Native communities lack leaders.
okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
So I pride myself on being a leader.
Okay.
If I can lead 50 fucking MCs into darkness,
Yeah.
and we find light, well then I did my fucking job for that show.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
counts,
So
I like
and now
that.
if I can do one fucking song like Ransom Note that's fucking got the RCMP on my
check
tail.
out this Ransom Note video and song. Actually, what he talked about it on his feed.
Oh man,
If
the
you wanna-
RCMP wants me right now. You know, I'm under investigation for this shit. That's why I'm wearing a mask now. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Not because we're supposed
So,
to.
like, watch the music video.
But,
is
you
it
know.
because of the what? Because you kidnapped Trudeau allegedly?
Well,
in
that's
the
what
video?
they're saying is that I might be a harm to the Canadian public.
I mean, I watched the video and
I was given an investigator's card by our local police, the Ganawage Peacekeepers, with an investigator's phone number and name on it, and I chose not to call because I want them to sweat it. I want them to, if they really want me, they'll find me.
Yeah, for sure.
You know?
Yeah.
That's like
Come get me.
it's crazy.
I don't leave the territory very often. Right now, they have a good chance.
I don't think they're.
By the time they see this,
but I guess it's a good.
I guess it's a good thing it's not a live video tonight after all.
It's stuff like that though, like a simple video or song where you can relay a message and get 20,000 people to fucking view it. You know, like we intended on getting the government's attention. That was our intention completely from day one when we filmed the music video.
Yeah.
But when we recorded the song, it was just, let's hang out, let's do something that you do. Because Q052 does political driven music. That's his whole motive, you know? Like, so I'm like, all right, let's do something that you do, but on my record.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it turned into this fucking crazy...
It's a good tune.
I don't know. It led to a lot of craziness, though, for sure.
I definitely appreciate that.
You said you had 2 kids.
Yeah.
First one is, you still see the first one?
Yeah.
And everything's all okay?
Yeah, everything's good, man. I got my 2 boys there. We're good with that, man. The home front's safe.
Nice.
For sure.
You definitely have a charisma to you on camera. And I say it because, like, I mean, we've almost gone, we're an hour 46 minutes or some shit like that right now. This is fluid. Now, it took us, like, 2 years of doing this fucking shit on YouTube before I could
3.
say... No, I mean, before we got fluid.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair.
You definitely got better quicker than 3 years. But, like, it took time to develop the ability to, like, maintain this conversation without the constant and all that shit. Because you don't have that. You've got that finesse to it. So,
Well,
I'd say
radio.
there's more to it than just talking. Like, you have presence. I can see, like, you're not stuttering, none of it. It's really cool. Just to, like, touch on what Chris was asking before, like, you've got, like, your 20,000 hours of effort. Not just 10, like 20,000 hours of effort into this shit.
Well, like I said, I did morning show hosting. I've done other radio shows in the past. I had my own show on Ganawage radio station. So, I mean, conducting interviews was always something that we did on the air with a lot of big people, like head of Native Affairs and shit like that, you know. So you really gotta know what you're saying. You gotta like study your I like to say opponent when you do an interview. Yep. That's your opponent. You're gonna bounce back and forth until you shut the camera off.
Yep.
But especially when you have political people, right? Because it's really your opponent because they don't fucking want to see your face. And then if you start asking those hard questions and you make them stutter and you make them wait, you know you've done your job.
Yeah.
You know, I have always felt that way, especially when I was interviewing people. Like, I have to make them fucking shut up. If I can make them shut up on the air, I win.
I feel like that's the complete opposite of what I'm trying to do here.
Well, no, I'm talking about political people. I'm talking, you know, like these people that are supposed to be fucking leaders of our communities and people that are helping Indigenous affairs become.
No, that's fair.
Yes. So I'm like, no, you know what? No. I'll ask the hard question, and I'm gonna make sure you just don't have the answer.
I respect that a lot.
Because then the community's like, holy smokes, this guy just really put it to him, you know, like. Because
Especially
ain't nobody asking those guys those kind of things.
Since we're on this topic, I'm going to ask, okay? Do you think that there is a lot of that happening right now in global politics? You don't have to answer if you don't follow it or whatnot. I'm just asking.
I just don't think that the right leaders are in place.
Okay.
I'd say he's right, or the whole system is rigged in a way.
Well, of course, we know that, but the leaders are definitely not the right people at all, and it's not even about voting. It's about who they want.
Yeah.
It's easy to control a weak mind.
Yep.
I probably, when you said that just now, it made me think what you're saying about leaders, where I don't think that issue of a lack of leadership is limited to just any one community.
No.
Something I've noticed is when I was young, there were people in their 30s that were like role models. I'm in my 30s now going, where the fuck did the people in their 30s that are role models go? And this is like a charge to...
Bad now, those
like,
ones.
Which is...
But like, what I'm saying is, I guess... The people in their 30s today are kind of still acting like they're 21 a little bit in terms of that leadership side of things.
Well, I guess, yeah.
And it's kind of an interesting thing because it really does put the mantle on people like you and anyone else willing to do it. And to me, it kind of gives you a a higher status in my perception of things, because you're taking the necessary hard route that so many people under your age group are just not doing. Now, whoever's watching this, I'm not necessarily talking about you, so don't take it personal, but there's a vast number of people, I'd say, within that 30 to 40 range that just don't want to be leaders and don't want to risk anything to fight for anything.
I think something in the water that definitely softened people. You know? I mean, when I was 10 years old, forced to stand face to face with armed Canadian soldiers and having police turn their backs while civilians throw rocks at me and my mother on a boat and shit, you know, like, you see things a lot differently, and you learn that people aren't as tough as they think they are. You know, you get put in a corner with somebody, and then they think they're big bad, and they're gonna push you around and all that, and you find out that they don't have that in them. That's not in their soul. It's not in, you know, like, and it's easy to find that out, especially when you've been put in positions where you were forced against the wall with rocks being thrown at you. You know, like, nah, fuck that, man. There's no way you're pushing this shit around. You know, like, and now we have to teach people that being tougher and more lenient. I mean, and less lenient towards what laws are being put in place and all of that. We can't stand up to that. I mean, we can't stand down to that. We got to stand up to those things. And too many people are, oh well, it's over with. It's a law. They passed it. Oh well.
I mean, in like the hip hop community, right? It kind of seems like, after this conversation, you're an OG to me. Like, you're one of the... No, but I'm not saying, like, OG in terms of, like, original gang. You know what I mean? Like,
you're 40 and you're still rapping.
Yeah, but it's not just that. It's, like, it's the idea, because on a lot of podcasts I listen to and a lot of friends that I speak to, they're like, I have my OGs that I go for information.
Yeah.
You know, how to move, how to act on certain streets, how to do certain things.
Okay.
And I feel like as that leader role, I'm taking the big words and making it for the little youngin' kids, for the 26ers who are watching the video. It's kind of like you are the OG that us, call it millennials or whatever, are looking for in terms of hip hop.
Well, I hope so, because
As much as I'm seeing it, and like from what I'm seeing, because not only that, but something I want to also say is you're very inspiring. The fact I've never had anybody play my music like that. And the fact that I came into the thing and you were playing it and it was just on my phone, like, you could ask my best friend. I looked like a giddy little girl. Like, I was just all like, oh my
and
God.
that's not even national radio
And
yet.
it's not even national, but it's the idea of, like, that inspiration and that like, that just bump of energy that you give out like that is just so great. And that's the type of OG-ness that I think we need back in this culture.
I always felt that there should be more people like that. And when I was coming up, I felt that the guys that I was looking up to at the time were those guys. Mm-hmm. But then as I got older, they weren't those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucked because I had no one to turn. Like I said, when we spoke earlier about the evolution, right? And at a certain point, I had no one to turn to because everybody was fucking gone.
Yeah.
All the older guys that got me involved with it split. Mm-hmm. So now I was like, what the fuck, you know? So that's the lesson I learned from that one, is that I can't be that way for these younger guys coming up. Mm-hmm. I gotta be there for them, even if I can't be actively there with them at the scene or at the venues. I gotta still be there, supportive as fuck, telling them that they're gonna get this shit done. Mm-hmm. You're gonna succeed tonight. You're gonna make money. You're gonna shake those asses if you're a DJ. You're gonna fucking make them say, oh yeah, if you're a rapper. You know, you're gonna, you know, like.
But being on
it's like a fucking coach, you know?
What's just really incredible about that is everything Willie's saying here, on the real, y'all could go do. I mean, it might take you 20, 25 years to accomplish the same tier of accolades, but I ain't hear Willie come out here and be like, I rewrote the formula. He just did the things you're supposed to do, and all this time later, it worked.
Yeah.
That's dope.
This is really just my last question, actually. I have no more after that.
Did we beat the record yet?
Yeah, we definitely passed the record.
Willie World Records.
So, when you were alone, right? When everybody got married, had kids, right. What got you through that? Like, when you were completely... And I get it, you did explain to us, you know, you got drive, you eventually got your second kid, you figure out you had to, like, be there, but what did you do to really get yourself through that slump period and then, you know?
I gave up booze.
Shit, that's an answer? That's an answer? Okay, go on. How did that affect you? How does that...
It was bad, man. Like I said, it was a tough time, man.
Yeah.
Everybody fucked off. You were all alone, you know, like... I got into booze fucking pretty heavy.
Just know if you don't want to talk about it, you don't have to.
I love my child, but his mom,
Okay.
it was during a rough time, like I said, a dark time.
Yeah,
I wasn't very stable.
Okay.
So I made a lot of unstable decisions that that forced me to fucking smarten up.
Okay.
You know?
I respect
So
that.
when the second child was born, which was 3 years after the other, they're only 3 years apart.
Okay.
The second child was born. That was it. Time to smarten the fuck up. You know, like
Yep.
you can't be this fucking dude. Like you get your son on the weekends, but you're drunk 5 days a week. You know, like come on, man, you're better than this. You know, like had that second child, and I was like, boom, pushed all that shit away, and and then we got focused again. And we put the mind back on the goal. You know.
Yeah.
And that was the turning point. The Beat Vandals inception, the fucking AK-47, all that shit. That was my new
Rebirth.
rebirth.
Yeah.
I was Willie Skandalz now. I was no longer grim. Times
Yeah.
weren't dark.
Yeah.
No one was getting killed.
That's wild.
You know?
That's
so
wild.
we switched to something fucking friendly.
Yeah.
You know? Willie
Yeah.
Skandalz. Oh shit, that sounds cool. I want to
I
hug
think
him.
it's hilarious that friendly in your world has scandals in it.
Yeah, man. Because I mean, shit. Like
I love it.
I said, you gotta understand. Like it's the fucking. It's where I come from, man.
Yeah.
Scandals is just like part of everything we fucking do.
I totally respect it.
Hey, sneak around scandalous and shit, you know, we gotta fucking make sure. But I don't know, I like Willie. Just call me Willie. Scandals is just for them.
Nah,
The
listen.
fans like scandals.
It's in your logo that's been on the screen the whole time.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, thank you for being here with us. We
sure,
are
man.
we are just shy of 2 hours. It's
Nice.
probably we can always set one up in the future and keep chit-chatting.
I don't know what else I have to say. Shit.
Well, so we went through you
we'll
this time.
find many
But the
questions.
thing
don't
is, we
worry.
didn't even talk about much. We just
Nope.
talked about you this whole time.
That's
So
right.
if you ever watch DJ Vlad, he gets Lord Jamar to come back in, and
Yeah.
they talk about fucking
Oh, fuck. He's
anything.
that guy.
Anything.
Yeah.
And I bet we could just sit there and talk about a lot of things, and people will be entertained, in my opinion. You know how you can let us know? You can hit that like button.
Oh my God.
You can subscribe to that channel.
Throw those
you
thumbs
can,
up.
You
We like
can
the
let
thumbs.
Willie know that you like his shit. His Facebook, I put his likable Facebook page
Nice.
there, so you can go click on that and hit that like button, and you can kick it live with Willie when he does
Friday.
his next one. Or is it this Friday?
No, I'm not doing this Friday. I'm filming a music video this week.
I remember seeing that. But in general, on Fridays it'll be there. And
Every
then-
Friday after this week.
And yeah, so just I also put his YouTube channel down there, or one of them. I think the BME channel that
Okay, yeah,
has
the
your
BME
music
is the
videos
best
on it.
option, yeah.
Because I saw the Friday
Yeah.
nights video, and I'm like, yeah, that's got Willie there.
Yeah.
You can
So
see
stay
him.
tuned for that bar contest.
Oh yeah, stay tuned definitely for the Northern Bar fights.
Absolutely. If we remember, we'll link it here, or we'll just bring him back on
And we'll
when it
call out
comes
rappers.
time. And yeah, maybe that's actually an idea. I
oh,
like where you're coming with
motherfuckers.
this. Anyway, so yo, but for real, thank you for being here. Thank y'all for watching, though, because y'all are really the MVPs here. As much as we're here, without you, there's no point. So thank y'all. Anyway, before we jump off, special thanks to the patrons: Ismail Gadansi, Chris Pratt, Jonathan Barnes, DJ Black Hurricane, Linda Williams, and Scribbler. They're dope. Support what we do, all that good shit. Typically, we do album reviews, so they tell us sometimes what albums to review, which has been a lot of their choices lately. But still, they're amazing people. You saw their names flash up. If you want to support us, you can check out that Patreon link below. We make music. Links in description, as always. I mean, it's kind of what it is. You can follow me on Spotify. That would be so nice to you. My numbers are not great. I could use some help. Anyway, like y'all. So it's been fun. And I would like to end all the episodes. Live long and prosper, everyone.
Willie Scandal, bitch.